Guys, what's going on? Here we are, guys. Here we are, guys. I was gonna do a different topic today, but then I see some stuff in the news, guys, and I have to change the topic. Guys, we keep things fresh around here. Guys, boy, oh boy, what an absolute joke! Are we gonna go over some absolute foolishness today? Guys, man, oh man, oh man. Hold on. Let's see. Who do we have here? Kathleen Sink says parents are on cell phones so much. Kids aren't even reading facts. Keyshawn says, yeah, Gen Z can't read facts. Steve, what's up, dude? Korg is here. Vintage, what's up? Evil's here. Good to see you guys. Guys, oh boy. I think that we've touched on this whole people can't read thing, obviously, but guys, we talk about Baltimore, Detroit schools, guys, it's horrible. It's bad, man. It's not just Detroit, it's not just Baltimore. It's horrible, guys. These kids can't think critically. They can't do math, absolutely insane. They can't spell. It's just a joke. And guys, these teachers unions get all this money. These teachers get paid a fairly decent wage. And if they were a private company, they'd all be fired. Now we have a bunch of friggin' 22-year-old, Adderall addicted 304s who bang their students teaching our children. Absolutely insane, guys. Here, let's break some news. You know what? Here, guys, I'm gonna drop the link early. Let's do this, right? Anyone who wants, come on, guys, and talk about our sham of a public school system, guys. I'm honestly starting to think, guys, that sending your kid to public school is almost child abuse at this point. Seriously, I'm dead ass. I'm not playing games, guys. This is an absolute joke. And people have known this for so long. Guys, you guys notice how Korg is right. Yeah. He says they can't handle opposing viewpoints. Jeremy, his $1.99. He's a checking in. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that $1.99, man. I appreciate that, my friend. Where are we here?
Seriously, garlic croutons, dude.
Secret, dude. It's good to see you, man.
We're out here building a new nation for black people.
It's time for you to start paying some dues, nigga.
I ain't giving you shit.
I
ain't giving these slurs nothing.
But see, this is common knowledge that our public school system's an absolute sham. And it's so funny that so guys, I'm an independent, but the Republicans have pushed for a school choice for what, 30 years now? They said take the average cost of what the state spends educating students, give that directly to the parents and give them a choice, right? Mm-hmm. I don't see anything wrong with that. Make more charter schools, private schools, have a public school option, yes. But it just doesn't make any sense. What's that?
I can tell you what's wrong with it, because the powers that be has decided that a well-educated and well-informed and financially savvy populace is bad for the government and big business.
Yeah, that's true. I think so, guys. I honestly think that's the only way that we can explain what's going on with the amount of TikTok, Tylenol brain that all these kids are showing nowadays. Jonathan says, what happened to apprenticeships? Back in the day, parents, they would send their kids off to school to learn. That's, I guess, I mean, that hasn't been a thing since like the 1800s, The public school system was established, the 1910s, 20s, 30s, 40s, is when they decided that they have to just to zone for districts and do all. Other than that, it's like you had a school marm and all this other stuff in the world, and then in the cities they had public schools, you know. But guys, this is just ridiculous. Like these kids, when I say that they can't read, they cannot read. They literally can. It's bad enough that young millennials are functionally illiterate, but Gen Z is illiterate. So guys, let's break some news here, guys. So anyone who wants to come on up, guys, hit that StreamYard link, guys. We will have a 6-panel member limit, and yeah, guys, let's do this. Guys, check this out. Let's go here. Hold on. 1 second. Guys, hit the like button on the way in. All right. Let's do that. Guys, here we go.
One thing is clear, Michigan is not doing a good
Damn, she can get it. How you doing?
job when it comes to teaching kids how to read. A national assessment test found more than 60% of the kids in our state aren't proficient at reading.
But what,
Guys, and this is 9 years ago. There's a reason why I pulled this one up. 9 years ago, so it's only gotten worse.
isn't clear is how to fix it. 7 Action News reporter Kim Russell was in Lansing as lawmakers debated a bill that would impact every kid entering our schools.
As lawmakers debated House Bill 4822, which would hold third graders back if they don't know how to read, some called it an opportunity to help kids. But one lawmaker called it a shakedown for state dollars.
This shit's hot too. Guys, let's go. The streak is back on. Let's go, man. Shoot, you know what I'm saying?
She's like all these babes. You get their pilot lit, they can start a leaf blower.
Republican Representative Amanda Price sponsored the bill that passed the House, and today went before the Senate Education Committee for debate.
Here we go.
She says first kids learn to read, then kids read to learn. So legislation requiring reading intervention programs for kids behind and holding them back from 4th grade if they aren't proficient at reading would lead to academic achievement. But holding kids back is controversial. So today, the Senate Education Committee presented changes that would give parents and superintendents some options. Oakland Schools Assistant Director of Government Relations, David Randles, told lawmakers with those changes, Oakland schools are behind the bill.
Unlike retention, which is what this debate's been about, which actually is one of the few things we do in education that hurts children, these interventions, these multi-tiered systems of support, they are proven by research to work.
Senator Patrick Kolbeck asks if schools know these interventions work, why does the state need to require them?
I get nervous about the state coming in and mandating this is how teachers need to teach.
They're not mandating anything.
They're not teaching, you dunderhead. They're not teaching. These kids can't read. They're graduating from high school and even getting into college and they can't read. Guys, this isn't like we're talking about immigrants who come here who can't read English. They can still read their native tongue. These kids can't even read their own language. What a joke.
About how to teach. It's just saying that every child is unique in their needs around reading.
It comes down to money, because if the state mandates it, then they have to go off and provide additional funding.
The Wayne County Republican calls it a money grab, while others say it's needed support. That isn't the only criticism. The bill could still hold kids back who are behind at reading because English is a new language to them. One Warren elementary school teacher says that would hurt kids.
It's against their legal rights, and they need to have access to grade level content.
We are committed to covering issues that impact your kids' schools. If there's something we should be covering, contact me at fixmyschool@wxyz.com. In Lansing, Kim Russell, 7 Action News.
For that, guys. For that. Now, guys, we have a couple more stories here, right? Let's do this. Watch this, guys. We've seen this. Look at this.
Project Baltimore, over the years, has heard from hundreds of parents who say their children are being pushed through Baltimore City schools without getting the education they need.
Look at that.
Parents like Julie Gaskins.
So your son's in 7th grade.
Yes.
What grade level does he read at?
Right now it's 2nd grade.
Look at that.
What grade level does he do math?
Whoa. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Reads at a 2nd grade level. Cooked. And guys, here's the thing that they're not considering. Guys, put a 1 if you remember how easy it was to learn things when you were young. Think about it. I know kids who learn different languages by just hanging out with Hispanic kids or Chinese kids. You know what I'm saying? I know a guy, he had a bunch of Spanish friends. He's a white dude, Hispanic guy, and he speaks fluent Spanish. You know what I'm saying? There are white kids, black kids who live near Chinatown, and they speak fluent Chinese. There are black kids because what's that one place with there's a lot of Russians in New York? I forget where, but there's a black neighborhood near there, and there's black kids who speak Russian because they hang out with the Russian kids. When you learn the trumpet, the violin, when you learn how to play football, it was so much easier to learn when you were younger because your mind, it was more malleable. It was like a sponge. But the older that you are, the harder it becomes. So teaching a 7th grader basic reading skills is harder than teaching a 2nd grader. Cooked.
The way my mentor Jim Rohn used to put it, children don't lack the capacity to learn, they only lack a teacher.
Well, I think that's the major thing about it. And guys put a 1 if you agree, because I was thinking about like why it's so hard to learn things as an adult. As an adult, you get pissed off or you're embarrassed being bad at stuff. Because by the time that you're in your 30s and 40s, right, like you don't go outside of your routine. So once you try and pick up the guitar and you're ding dong dong, it makes you cringe that you're so bad at things. Kids don't care about being bad at things, right, guys? Back when you were 7, 8, 9, 10 years old and you joined the wrestling team, you didn't know how to wrestle. You were bad at it. You didn't care. You were like 11. You didn't care. When you were on the violin going, you didn't care. You didn't develop that insecurity about being bad at things until you were an adult. That's an adult thing, not a child thing. You know what I mean? That's why children learn so much faster. They don't really have that like protect sense of self mentally like we do as adults.
Fear of failure.
Yes, they can talk to their Mexican friends in broken Spanish and not fear like being laughed at or they'll just say, okay, I said the wrong word. Fine. And guys, once again, yes, Jonathan. Oh, I was getting here. Yes, guys. Yes. There's been a sharp decline in male teachers, and that correlates to how crappy the schools are. Guys, I was always been like in the gifted class, meaning like I always tested off the charts for IQ. You know what I'm saying? I was actually supposed to skip the 4th grade and go to the 5th, but then we ended up moving to another district, you know? And so everything always came easy to me in school, except math, because I hate math. I can do it, but I hate it. But reading, writing, all the instruments or whatever. And a lot of that I honestly believe is because I was born smart. But my dad always had us reading books, had us doing puzzles and doing we learned how to do build basic circuits. We were typing when we were like in 1st grade. My dad had a typing tutor. We learned how to type, So like we were doing things from a young age that encouraged us to learn, and learning was actually fun, And now kids are on their phones all day. It's so funny because they have access to more information than ever before. You have access to every book that's ever written on your phone, and they can't read it.
Well, there was a time where
Colin, we're all old enough to remember having to go physically get the encyclopedia and open it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember?
They used to sell it door to door, and there was a time when we had to get it, getting a library card was just something you just had to do it.
Now you have it on your phone. You can just go to pull up your phone in your pocket and look for it. Guys, secret, Colin, everyone in the chat, do you remember the first time when you saw the encyclopedia on a CD-ROM? You were like, whoa, hold on. The encyclopedia is on this? I can just put this in the computer and have the encyclopedia. No way. That's crazy, But Secret, you were saying?
No, I was just saying that, there was a time when, I was just got finished. In fact, you and I were talking where one day I was telling you about, all the time I spent in the library and about me wanting to donate my comic collection to my local library.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So AJ, you're talking about the learning thing. It's actually in technical terms, it's referred to as neuroplasticity.
Yeah. Uh-oh, look at Colin with the big educated words. Let's go. you guys hear that? That's Colin drinking his tea with his pinky up over there.
Do declare.
Piff, puff, puff, piff. guys, let's hit the like button, guys. We have 97 people. We have 33 likes, guys. And guys, I'm going to really fast do this here. Hold on. Oh, this is Houston. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna plug HL Talkbot's video. Channel because he is posting videos again.
Oh yes, he had a good one today.
Please, guys, go over to his channel, and guys, subscribe, leave a comment, and let him know that I sent you. This is my favorite channel on YouTube, guys. Right here, he tells the whole story of these chicks. I'm getting divorced. I'm so happy, doing TikTok dances, and then 5 months later, I'm so alone. And my husband moved on. I thought it would be so much better. He goes through the whole timeline. So HL Talk That. I don't know if you follow my channel, you watch me, but bro, you are the hero we all need. Keep up the good work. I'm glad to have you back. So go over there and drop him a sub. I'll drop this in the chat right here. So
yeah, the one he posted today was a good one.
Yeah.
I believe that's first or second grade.
What do you think about that?
I'm horrified.
We also spoke with this father, Gregory Gray.
My son is really in desperate need of.
Now, guys, wait a minute. I need to. Hold on. There's no excuse for this guy being a father to have his son read that bad of a level. My dad made sure to supplement my education. It's up to a father to sit, once he gets off of work, sit down and pull out a book or something, or son, read this book, and I'll give you $5 for every book you read this month, or $1, 25 cents. Son, I'm gonna test on this. My dad had us doing SAT prep in the 7th grade. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't playing games, Guys, fathers need to make sure that their kids are being educated, because put a 1 if you guys agree that mothers just go with the flow. Mothers expect the teachers to raise their kids for them. Fathers need to say, get off that phone, get off that tablet, stop playing that video game, read this book, do this math, or else. You know what I'm saying?
Of tutoring in math. And how did my son pass if he didn't know none of this math?
Now, Project Baltimore has obtained student assessment scores from just one class in one high school that show how widespread the problem appears to be.
They passed them.
Now, he is right to be pissed off there, right? Because he might be that one parent that's pissed off that his kids didn't pass. I mean, that his kids passed and didn't fail. But guys, how many of these, especially white, I would say white and black single moms, if their child got failed or held back, they would say, "How dare you?" You know what I'm saying? Not my kid.
Just pass them along.
And leading the way is iReady. iReady is a system schools use to measure at which grade level a student is performing. In Baltimore City schools, iReady assessments are given in math and reading 3 times a year to measure a student's progress. The scores we obtain show some students are performing 10 grade levels below their age.
Look at that. Now, guys, I pulled this was 4 years ago because this is Gen Z, guys. So this was like right before, during the cough, right? So, guys, the whole lockdown made it even worse. The cough made this even worse, you know? So
Fox 45 News is not disclosing the school or the class to protect student identities, but we can report these iReady scores are for 11th graders in math and reading.
Cooked. Guys, rate them on the cooked-o-meter.
It's over 9,000.
Clown world. Guys, can you imagine? Some of these kids are going to get into college too, because colleges don't care. They'll just take anyone to keep that multi-billion-dollar machine going, you know?
Especially these days.
Exactly.
Where the way education is going, enrollments are going now.
Exactly. Yep.
9 students completed the reading assessment. 2 scored at a high school level.
Look at that.
1 scored in 7th grade. The other 6 scored in elementary school.
Look at that. And guys, and 11th graders are what? 15, 16, right? 16. 17, right?
No, it's like 15, 16, yeah.
11th grade is a junior in high school.
Yeah, that's like 16 most.
Yeah, 16, 17-ish. Depends on your birthday. Yeah. 16, 17. Guys, I was reading Stephen King in like the 5th grade, the 4th grade. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me and everyone in this chat, I want you guys to let me know if you agree. Put a 1. Guys, reading has to be the best entertainment medium. There's nothing can draw you in like a good book. Guys, let me know in the chat if you just had a book that you just couldn't put down. You know what I mean? Hey, yes, there's video games, there's anime, there's other things, but a good book, you just can't put it down. You're like, man, what time is it? Oh, snap. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the best parts about traveling that I like is on the plane. I have nothing to do but read books. So I'll have a good book, you know, and I read really, really, really fast too. So I finish a good book and a good, 3, 4, 5 hour flight, you know, and be good to go. But nothing draws you in like a good book, man, you know? So, and I read a lot for work too, but I still read a lot. So
math, 7 students.
And I spend a lot of time talking to you, blabbing my mouth to you guys. And I still find time to read.
Completed the assessment. Again, 2 scored at a high school level.
Look at that.
The rest, who are juniors in Baltimore City schools, scored in elementary school, including 1 student who's doing math on a 1st grade level.
Whoa!
So what is 1st grade math? According to education.
2 plus 2 is 4. Yo, homeboy still got Barney bouncing through his brain. I love you. 2 plus 2. Yo. And guys, this is Baltimore. Guys, who runs Baltimore? Which
Democrats.
political party runs Baltimore?
Democrats.
Thank you very much.
This is a first grade math worksheet. It includes simple addition and subtraction, like 2 plus 3 and 9 minus 7. First graders.
Yeah. Someone said dunce cap, guys. I got to break up dunce cap because I haven't broken it out in a while. Where is it? Gregory says, does Audible count since I work a lot? Guys, audiobooks don't stimulate your brain the same as reading. It's better than nothing, obviously, because you learn new info. But guys, I would say that's better, but don't substitute it, right? Like, still find time to read. Guys, okay. This is the same as, I don't know if you guys know this, but writing stuff down sticks with you more than typing stuff. If you guys really need to think about stuff or get out a pen and paper and write it down. For some reason, your brain retains that information more. That's why you see people journaling. They make lists. Colin, when you were still fixing cars, you wrote a lot of stuff down, right?
Yeah.
Post-it notes, clipboards, paper, because your brain actually retains that info better. Guys, let's try and hit 100 likes quick. Guys, we've hit like 200 likes in the last couple lives, 250 yesterday, guys. I think we were at 247 on Monday, guys. So we're doing really, really, really good with these lives, and yeah.
Also do connect the dot puzzles where they draw lines in numerical order to create an image.
No way. We were doing this in kindergarten.
Yeah.
In first grade.
Guys, look at this. Any person that's 17 who's doing this has the downs.
This is first grade math.
They were passing students on who couldn't read, who couldn't compute.
Carl Stokes is a former city council member. And
guys, who is more likely to push for not failing students because it makes them feel bad? Men,
women,
or women? Thank you. Thank you.
Charter school operator in Baltimore.
I know principals in schools who said, it happened to me, who said, I can't pass this student to the next grade. They're not ready. And North Avenue refused to allow us to fail the students without a fight. And we
Daniel, hey, what's up, dude? Who do you have here? Whiteout. What's up, man? Rome the gentleman, how you doing? Evil, how you doing? Good to see you. Omni's here. Good to see you. Memphis, what's up, man? Colin Jagel, what's up, man? Good to see all you guys here.
Fought because we knew we would be hurting the kid.
Stokes said at his charter school, which closed last year, about 90% of his incoming sixth graders every year were not reading or doing math at grade level.
Damn.
90% had iReady scores below the grade the student was in.
That's the deal we have here. We have
guys, there's another thing too. It's like the parents aren't teaching these kids. Guys, you know that when you're taking a test, if you're getting stuff wrong. You know what I mean? Like, these kids are just taking the test, getting stuff wrong, They don't realize something's wrong. Guys, let me know in this chat, have you ever been taught by a teacher, either in high school, in high school or in college, and you're like, this guy's not teaching me right. He's not setting me up to pass this class. Someone says join late. We have info on race versus test scores. Hey, dude, it's actually a social economics, pal. If you go to Appalachia, where these, rural Appalachian poor white towns, they're the same as the hood. Trailer trash, Cletus's kids fail tests at the same rate as black kids in the hood.
Yeah.
Middle class, college educated parents, black, white, Hispanic, whatever, their kids pretty much do the same. Asians do better, obviously. But go to West Virginia, right? Go to Aberdeen, Washington. Go to rural Iowa, where the mountain's been fracked, the water lights on fire, the coal mine shut down, there's 78% unemployment rate. Guys, you guys know that the top 12 poorest counties in America are like 99% white?
Yeah.
99%. There's nothing but opioids, junkies, and drug use. You know what I'm saying? So, guys, because the majority of people in the United States are white, the top of society is white, meaning the billionaires, millionaires, the majority white, but the bottom are white too. And this is why I try and tell these liberals, oh, white privilege. Guys, no. There are poor Appalachian redneck whites that live a life of poverty that most groups can never, ever fathom in the U.S. Trust me, guys, I saw it. I was in West Virginia once. I went to this Target, and the freaking pharmacy was a fortress. Bulletproof glass, because all the junkies kept going in there. All the businesses had shut down. The hotels, you had to drink bottled water because the water was contaminated.
Yeah.
Bro, like, there was nothing but white people there. So these liberals who are, well, white people need to check their privilege. What privilege do those whites have? They live a hopeless existence. 904 pinball. Intelligence isn't genetic. Isn't 90% genetic. That is not true. Guys, it isn't true. Because if that was the case, why is it that Asians outperform whites, Nigerians outperform whites on tests, economically, etc., right? Nigerians that come from Africa, right, who are just as black as me, are one of the highest earning. It's culture. It's culture. Guys, it is proof. One that, just like Andrew Wilson talked about how in these Muslim areas they bang their cousins and it lowers the IQ, and then the culture. It's proof that when people move to a more Western culture, even Eastern Europeans, when they move to Britain, their kids get smarter. They get smarter. They've had people move from like freaking Romania. And by the time that they've been in Romania for X amount of years, the IQ has gone up, and their kids' IQ has gone up. Western culture encourages more of the brain to activate, and the engineering part of the brain, the logical part of the brain to activate. You know what I'm saying? So people don't understand. A lot of Eastern Europe, Africa, Southeast Asia, right? The people live in cultures that don't push for logic, reason, critical thinking, etc. And if that was the actual case, you wouldn't see if it was genetic, then you wouldn't see poor whites in Appalachia having the same low IQ as poor blacks in the hood. If it was genetic, then no matter where whites were, they would be smart. And that's not the case. That is, you cannot tell me that the IQ in backwoods, Louisiana is the same as it would be in I don't know, New York or somewhere where in a private school in New York. So And also, what proves it, guys, is that the fact that, like we're going to see, that our kids are getting dumber. Across the board, IQ is dropping.
Yep.
You know? So
and ChatGPT is not making it better.
Exactly.
Kids who are not getting an education, who get out of school or quit.
And I know that whoever said that about genetics, that you weren't trying to start anything, but bro, like that thinking is what the elites try and push so that working class blacks, whites, Asians, Hispanics, and poor blacks, whites, Asians, and Hispanics fight each other and not look up at who's oppressing all of us. You know what I'm saying? There was a guy who had a book. I forget. I don't know if it was Thomas Sowell, but I think it was someone that was reacting to his book. Said the day that poor blacks and rednecks actually get together and form a coalition to take out the powerful people who are dividing us, the elites are cooked. If you have rednecks from West Virginia and Nug from the hood actually ganging up together to actually fight the powers that be, they're cooked. So
school, they have no skill set to sustain themselves.
Yeah, guys, here, let's do this. Let's go to Texas.
Since there is a real problem.
Hey guys, so when I first started this channel, right, I was going to make this channel be more of like a black manosphere channel for black men. And then I realized, guys, all of us men share the same common experience. All of us men can get cooked in divorce court, maternity fraud, and family court. Rich men, poor men, military men, black men, white men, foreigners, right? We can all get cooked. All get cooked. And as men, we should focus on what brings us together and not what divides us. So, guys, please code your language. No swearing. Appreciate that. Guys, let's try and hit 100 likes, guys. We have 70 likes, guys. Let's get that up, right?
In our classrooms here in Houston and around the country, thousands, possibly millions of children are reading below their grade level.
The primary issue is lack of exposure prior to coming to school. And when I say lack of exposure, I mean lack of exposure in, say, in preschool or even like a Mother's Day Out program or in the home to a lot of rich experiences that would develop vocabulary and language skills, lack of access to books. And there's a lot of programming throughout the city, but if people lack transportation, that's an issue as well.
What would be the best way, say, for someone without a large budget at home to start their kids on the right path?
Hey, you might not have seen that, but how many rednecks now are dying of opioids, bro? Guys, there's a documentary called Oceana, and it's about Oceana, West Virginia, and all these small podunk towns and all the opioid addicts because they fell for the okie doke and started taking all these Oxycontins. What they don't tell you is that the majority of overdoses from oxys are rednecks. You know what I'm saying? So that might not happen, but hey, man, rednecks are getting hit with all the bad stuff too, man.
To reading, and at what age, how young should they be?
It is never too early to start. I mean, I'm not kidding. You start from day one that you bring that baby home from the hospital, or if you really want to, you can start when the baby is still inside the womb.
Mm-hmm.
So say you have I'm going to say no budget. Okay. So here's things that everyone can do at home.
Yeah, it's easy.
Really talk with their baby, with their toddler. I don't mean talk at them and give them instructions. I mean, carry on a conversation.
Yeah, right. That would require them to actually give a damn. Because we all know how these single moms are with their bastard kids, right?
Streets. I'm a bitch from the streets. I get that money. I get that money. Bitch, give me what you got.
Clown world, right? Guys, here, check this out. Check this out. Hold on.
When a student graduates from Baltimore City Public Schools, they have the education they need to be successful. One father says his honor students was woefully
You know
unprepared.
what's even crazy too, guys? I used to live in central Pennsylvania. Guys, do you know how many of those guys can't read? Like rural white dudes will drop out of school like 8th, 9th grade and go to work in like a factory or go to work on a farm, and they just can't read because it's been like 10, 15, 20 years, and they're like in their late 30s and 40s. And guys, please remember that since the United States has been a country, women have always been more educated than men. Basic education. Why? Because oftentimes they were school marms and all this stuff, and young boys had to drop out of school to work to feed their families, right? You know? Think about it. Look at the Amish. Guys, the Amish, all the kids stop school in 8th grade. The boys oftentimes do it earlier because they have to work.
Right,
If
they
it
have
wa-
to do the physical labor. Yeah.
Thank you. If this was 1914, the girls can't do the same work as the boys, so they would stay in school. Oftentimes, especially in the Black community, more girls went to college than guys because Blacks are working in Detroit in the car factories and all this stuff. All the boys were, right? All the men. But women have always had higher universal education rates than men, but men went to college more, yes, obviously. But that's because you only went to college to be a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, right? These women went, but they were nurses, secretaries. Used to have a college certificate to be a typist or whatever, right? Then what happened was when Colin and myself were growing up, they pushed all these chicks into college to get all these degrees in underwater lesbian studies, you know?
Yeah.
Project Baltimore's Chris Papps explains Maryland has changed high school graduation requirements to help students, but some say we're setting them up for failure.
Marriage. All billionaires of high IQ are not men of one race. You know how I know this? How many Nigerian billionaires are out there? Saudi trillionaires are out there.
Saudi.
Chinese businessmen, Japanese businessmen. We only know of these ones because they're in the United States and they choose to be known. You honestly think that there's no with all these dictators in Africa, they're not billionaires? The businessmen that do business with these dictators are the go-betweens between Africans with the diamonds and all this other stuff, and Europeans in the West. You don't think that those guys are billionaires? You don't think that there's Hispanic billionaires in freaking
Drug lords
Mexico and all this other stuff? Bro, come on, man. You aren't that silly, are you? Guys, and this Top G said this the best. Racism is for poor people because you don't think that a African billionaire, a Saudi billionaire, a Norwegian billionaire, you don't think that they're going to do business with each other because of race? Bro, they don't give a damn as long as they make money. They don't care. They do not care. Here's the thing. Someone said the Saudis aren't smart, but they have oil. Well, look at all they've managed to do with oil, right? They have one of the biggest investment funds that there is, and they're buying all these soccer teams and all this stuff. They're buying all these networks, buying golf, buying that. Takes
Making Bill Burr
intelligence
go do
to
comedy and stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. More is it. Potato said it. Yeah, rich blacks run from ghettos. Guys, once again, my dad, black doctor, my mom, black medical professional. Guys, we got out of the hood as quickly as possible and never look back. Dante is correct. The only color that does matter is green. is green, guys. Straight up. Look at, guys. We have to really, 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 really understand that people like, no matter how they have become millionaires or billionaires, right? What if it's Jay-Z or some Saudi prince or the emperor of Thailand? Guys, those people, guys, put a 1 if you agree with me. Rich people don't want other people to get rich. And that's why I guarantee no one in this chat is dumb enough to actually fall for some Instagram. I have courses that can get you rich. Guys, really?
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Daniel says his kids are nothing like Gen Z idiots. But here, guys, I would assume that. Because, guys, everyone that's in this chat, guys, we know that we are the exception to the rule. That's why you're here in the first place.
Yeah, we're not cheap
Guys,
here.
Daniel, bro, you aren't some goofball, blue-pilled, male feminist dumbass. You are a educated, critical thinking, assertive man. So I would assume that your children aren't these TikTok Tylenol brain having morons. You know what I'm saying?
Graduation day.
It's a proud day.
For Desmond Stinney's youngest daughter.
Today's a big day.
One certainly filled with pride, but also worry.
I just kind of want to get through it.
You see, 3 years ago, in 2020, Stinney celebrated the high school graduation of his oldest daughter, Xaviera.
Our prize cadet here was
Xaviera.
So proud of her.
An honor student, soccer star, and graduate of Baltimore Polytechnic Institute.
She's accomplishing so much more than her old man at such a young age.
Xaviera didn't just graduate from any city high school. She went to one of the best. In 2020, Poly had a graduation rate greater than 95%, one of the highest in Maryland. 77% of students tested scored proficient in English that year. 54% scored proficient in math. Both the best scores in the city.
Did you think she?
Fire, whatever. We're not getting mad at Gen Z. We pity Gen Z. You guys can't read. You were set up for failure.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. No.
Oh, it's true. Adderall,
Colin, Secret,
all these
Snowboard,
things.
Steven, Patrick White, David, Vintage. Guys, whose fault is all this? What generation's fault is all
Boomers.
Boomers. Thank you very much. Guys, from 1950 to 1975 was the largest economic boom in the history of God's green earth. And these boomers, they were like, oh, well, this traditional conservative mindset with traditional gender roles and all this other stuff that got us through the 1918 cough, World War I, World War II, Korea. You know that? Oh, that doesn't matter anymore. We're going to go to Woodstock and take mushrooms and blow each other and munch each other's boxes. Yeah. Ridiculous.
I don't really care about my kids' education because I have a boat on cheap credit. So
by the late 70s and the 80s, they had enough abundance to where they could flip the script. They could flip the script and actually be traditional and raise kids traditionally. Secret, Colin, you guys remember was it Family Ties with Michael J. Fox?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it Family Ties? Hold on. Was it Family Ties? No. It was yeah. Guys, what was Family Ties about? Right? And here's the thing. It might not have been the majority of boomers, but it was enough of you guys. You guys planted the seed, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Family Ties was the two parents were hippies. They were hippie liberals that still got married and raised kids in a two-parent home. And then the whole joke was that Michael J. Fox, he was a Republican. You know, he was like the Republican, Ronald Reagan lover. But guys, if they were so hippy dippy, why didn't they try and raise? Why wasn't the mom a single mom?
Why weren't they in a commune?
Exactly. Because they wanted to benefit from the very system that they were trying to destroy. And at Gen X, we were the first ones saying, wait a minute. Things are getting a little bit difficult out here for us. We're the first ones that, oh, you Gen Xers, you need to shut up. Da, da, da. Now you millennials and Gen Z, you guys don't even remember a time of abundance like we do. You guys are 10 times more cooked than us. And we're not mad at you. Guys, if you design a plane with faults and won't from the jump and it crashes, like, how could you? It was designed wrong, you know?
Yeah. Was prepared to go to a military academy?
Absolutely. There was no indication that she wasn't.
But soon after graduation, this father watched his daughter's bright future nearly fall apart. Xaviera enrolled as a cadet into one of the United States military academies.
Couldn't read.
Stinney says when she got there, she quickly fell behind and was placed on academic probation.
Look at that.
Well, let me
guess.
guys,
Once again, whoa. Guys, if you are a boomer, right, and you weren't at Woodstock, doing the whole free love thing, I'm not talking about you. Guys, come on now. We have to be intellectually honest here, right? Guys, I'm not talking about you. I shouldn't have to say this. In the same way that everyone in this chat that talks about nug and all these horrible black male stereotypes, I know that you're not talking about me. If you are a boomer and you did stuff right, hey, rock and roll. But guess what? There was the whole feminism thing and sexual revolution that happened on you guys' watch. You might not have let it happen, but enough of these idiots got into power that are of your generation that upended the basic fundamental tenets that made our society what it is today.
Yep. And they added in much more government control, the Big Brother stuff, watch the chemicals go in the food along the way. Like I said, zoning laws, much more high taxes, much more business restraints and laws for things, like hiring processes and stuff. Like so much more of that was from them. And a ton of them have fake government jobs that don't really do anything. And that's what they want you to be in. Hey, you need to be in a government job where you don't really do anything, but you get paid and you get the pension, and then to hell with everyone else. Yeah. They want to get theirs into hell with you. And by the way, a ton of them are just sitting there watching the world burn. They're like, I don't care if robots take over anybody. I have my condo in Florida and I'm fine.
Or they work with these people. These stupid nonprofits that do diddly dog dick. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm an executive a director at the organization for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, what do? We help. And where's your budget? Someone broke in and stole it, like the Somalis.
Yeah.
Another big one is that the boomer generation, they got to have their 10 to 15 year coke bender in the 80s and into the early mid 90s.
Then find Reagan.
Right, and then they turn around and say, "Oh, we now need to have this war on drugs," and it's like, dude, get that
but Colin, it goes even. Once again, my parents were both born in the 50s, so think about. I want to say, if you were born in like 51, 52, 53. Then you were in like high school in the 70s. So all the 70s was free love and weed and mushrooms and speed. And then the 80s was all coke. So they spent high school, college, You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't all of them, but it was enough. But they still could do the okie doke and say, let's get married, have kids, have a one income home.
Yep.
Yeah.
And rely on the government to teach our kids. They weren't really homeschooling. They're going to have the government teach it, where it's some stupid teacher that doesn't even do a good job, but it looks okay on paper. So like, yeah, they watch their kid. It looks okay on paper. So
here's the thing. Boomers, guys, all you boomers in the chat, yes or no? Do you remember large amounts of daycares when you were growing up? Do you remember mothers dropping their children off at daycares and paying, 40% of their income?
A mortgage.
Paying a mortgage.
Yeah, a mortgage to have your kid around other little bastards.
No, and that's because when you guys were growing up, there were still housewives. There was the neighborhood chick who you had mothers staying home with their children, or if the mother worked, there was a housewife down the street that was the neighborhood daycare. That's what happened when I was growing up. My great aunt was our daycare. So my parents paid her like $20 a week, and she had her big living room and her garage or whatever. It was finished, and we had toys, and she would just watch us. That was her side hustle, But you never saw where it's basically a requirement that these women pay some illegal or some Gloctavia who's making minimum wage to friggin', slap and stomp and give their friggin' babies the Stone Cold Stunner if they don't stop crying.
Yeah.
Putting drugs in the formula to let the kids sleep. You guys remember the one story that we did where they were giving kids the sleepy time patches?
Yeah. And the Fight Club.
Dude, I would kill someone. I'm dead serious, guys. Hold on. I'm dead ass. If I found out that they were giving my kids chemicals, guys, I would be in jail.
Yeah,
I would be in jail. That's why I'm not having kids.
She was in danger of failing out of college.
And that was the moment we realized that the foundation wasn't built at all. And we had a very false sense of superiority having the grades.
Can we just pause it just for one more second?
Yeah.
As with every generation, probably I would say 60%, maybe even a little bit more of your children's education is on the parents in a way. He should have been grilling his daughter like, well, do you actually know all this? Or I didn't see I just tuned in, so I didn't really see what it is, but I'm assuming it's going to be the Baltimore schools kind of cooked the books to make it look like she's very smart and talented and stuff, but the education wasn't good. Part of that is the parents' fault, no matter what. You have to make sure that your kid's not a dunderhead.
Yeah. Guys,
you can't just have the school give you an award and think your kid's Albert Einstein.
I told everyone that I was learning how to type in first grade. So my dad, we had a little Mavis typing tutor. My dad taught us basic coding when we were like second, third grade. We would get 25 cents for every book we read. So we'd always run to and he would actually quiz us on the book because he would, and then also too, he was having us do SAT prep in middle school. You know what I'm saying? Like doing things where he was supplementing our education.
Yeah.
If there was all these historical figures, facts, these that he wanted us to know, he would sit there and he would test us. He would make us learn this stuff.
Yep.
It's
gone from SAD prep to STD prep. It's true though. We are degenerating, and a lot of that is parents' fault. Oh, this let my Tylenol brain kid be trained by the iPad. See how he is? He's so good with tech. He can set up an email address.
But snowboard,
there's a little bit of that's true.
But here's the crazy thing, and everyone unmute here, because all of us, I can just tell, we're always super smart. But did anyone else other than me procrastinate a lot in school? Wait to the last, but you guys know
all the time.
But guys, put a 1 if you procrastinated a lot in high school and stuff. But you guys know why you did that? Anyone?
Most of us, we did our best work under pressure.
Because it was too freaking easy So you had to challenge yourself. It was too easy, and you had to challenge yourself. Guys, that was the only way to make the work worthwhile is if you crunched and you actually did it. Because I would do like 15-page papers the morning of. In college, I would have 30-page papers due. I started at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's due at 11 a.m. You know what I'm saying? But guys, because it was too easy. All of us here, all of us in the chat, we were too smart for our teachers. Especially us men. Us young men, guys, a lot of us young men are bright. We're a lot of logical. We're super smart at a young age. Yeah, it wasn't until I took AP where I was actually like, wow, I'll do this the way it is. But guys, then what started happening in the 90s? What did they start doing to young boys that were super smart? Anyone?
Me shaming you and putting feminism first.
No. What did they start? Thank you very much.
Yes, but that happened to me too.
Yes, they would put these young boys on freaking Ritalin. That, you know what, guys? Here. You know what, guys? I'm so glad that all of these news stories are related, or else we wouldn't be on to the topic. So we're actually on the topic, but guys, let's get serious here, guys. This ADHD Adderall BS is the biggest bunch of crap that I've ever heard in my entire life. It infuriates me to this day because especially young black kids, right? They would always put young black boys. And I tell you guys, us black, we are the majority. We are the canary in the coal mine. So what happens to us first happens to you white guys next. And in the 90s, they were stuffing Ritalin down all of these young black boys, especially ones who were especially smart. Yeah. My nephew, he's super smart, but they would always, he has ADHD. No, he doesn't. And now the 2000s, Big Pharma's like, wait, we can do this to white guys. The largest group of boys there are. They got a generation of 2 generations of millennials and Gen Z hooked on Ritalin. It's an absolute joke. Boys have ADHD. You take away recess. You take away PE. You make the way to learn the default way that girls learn, and wonder why boys are running all over the place. It's an absolute joke. And guys, once again, they're trying to weaken men. Yeah. They're trying to weaken men. Guys, they test stuff out on us black men, and then they give you white dudes the 1-2 punch. Because they know that you guys are the biggest group of men, and if they can make you guys weak, this country is cooked.
Well, you guys, you know what ADHD really stands for, right? All different hood daddies.
Hey-oh. But yeah, guys, never ever. If you have a son, guys, do not let them put him on Ritalin. Do not have them do this. Because it labels them as being disabled too, and that follows them the rest of their life.
Yeah, that happened to me.
It gets the state a lot of money from the federal government to have X number of disabled students.
Yeah. Exactly. And a lot of these single moms want their kids to be labeled disabled because they get money from the government. Guys, make sure to hit the like button, guys. We're at 95 likes already. Let's go.
Denny says the Academy had to create a special math remediation course.
On what's that?
So, young boys, young men, and from 90s to 2000, we'll say, about the effects of Ritalin. Feminist teachers is a part of it. How they dumb you down, or they're just bad teachers. That's a whole thing. That's a big foundational problem. And that's one reason we're kind of complaining about boomers, because they just were sitting there watching it happen.
Yeah. Well, I can
but
tell
they
you
have
this,
a vote, so they don't care.
Now it's coming back to bite these feminists in the butt. Because, guys,
a lot of the...
Hold on, dude. Put a 1 if you guys know who the largest growing group of people getting prescribed Ritalin is?
It's now women. The
Thank
young
you.
women.
College educated women, guys. If you've seen on TikTok, Instagram, all these chicks saying they have ADHD, Big Pharma pulled the okie doke, guys.
Yep.
They convinced all these college educated chicks that are banging all these dudes, abusing alcohol, on head meds, said, oh, well, the reason why you're having real problems with all this birth control and all this other crap is because you have ADHD, guys.
Yeah. You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Larry, you were saying?
Yeah, no, it's funny that you should mention the 90s because that's when my family immigrated to the United States. And I remember 1996, there was so many programs for boys, like, male-centric programs like SHOP. I loved Wood Shop. They taught all sorts of, technical skills to boys. And that was one of the most exciting parts of going to school. And, it introduced you to a lot of things. Now, the interesting thing is that it was the Clinton administration that ended up deciding, hey, we're going to go away from these hands-on programs in school, and we're going to focus towards a white-collar office administrational economy. Exactly. And we're seeing the results of that. These chicks, all these broads with tons of massive debt, all of them have degrees in stuff that does administrational stuff, crap like sending emails.
Yeah.
And we have a massive shortage.
Gender studies? I mean, what you don't even know how to send emails with that.
Yeah.
Underwater lesbian geology. I mean, listen.
Yeah.
But Larry, how old are you?
I'm 41.
And where did you immigrate from?
Pakistan.
Okay, so Larry, you, me, Colin are about the same age, right? Yeah. You remember when you were in high school and you said that you weren't going to go to college. If you said you weren't going to go to college, everyone looked at you crazy.
Like you're a loser.
Yep.
And this
not only that, AJ, the kid who said instead, I'm not going to go to XYZ University, I'm going to go and learn a trade. That kid looked like what the hell are you doing? You're going to waste your life.
There's one big psyop to push all these kids into colleges that were raising their tuition. Guys, from 2000, when I started college, when I graduated from grad school, tuition went up over 200%.
It was absolutely insane, yeah.
Yeah.
To help his daughter stay in school.
We never thought basic math would be the stress in her life for those 16 months that she was on academic probation.
Xaviera is now off academic probation and is doing well. But Stinny worries about the other students, including his younger daughter.
We can see the finish line.
Especially after he learned Maryland has changed its graduation requirements.
Here we go.
A change he fears could result in more graduates not being prepared.
I think that's counterproductive. I think if we lower our standards, I think that's at the detriment of the children.
In 2019, the year prior to the pandemic, to receive a high school diploma, Maryland students had 3 graduation requirements: earn 21 credits, complete 75 service hours, and pass state assessments in the 4 main subjects.
Algebra 1, government, and what? Guys,
government?
What? Like this is barely anything.
From 2020 to
It's worse.
2023, students no longer
look at that.
Wow. Wow.
There's no requirements to graduate. Guys, hold on. Guys, Louisiana is this way. Oregon is this way. I think, hold on. I think Minnesota is this way.
Oh my
I've covered this. There's no requirements to graduate from high school.
This is like the academic version of the participation trophy.
Yeah.
Yep. And who's teaching high school?
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah.
It's like 80% women teaching high school. So they can't get the job done. If a man was there, he would be pissed. He's like, I'm failing these people for their future. Women don't care. They just want, the esteem of being a teacher, but that esteem should only be given if you actually teach them stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Doesn't make any sense.
Had to pass state assessments to graduate. They just needed to take them. And next year, new standards take effect again.
It's worse.
For a majority of the class of 2024, Maryland students will only have 2 requirements to graduate: 21 credits and 75 service hours.
What?
State assessments will now count for 20% of their final grade for that
Oh.
subject, meaning students won't have to pass the state test to graduate.
Oh my
In 2025, the
It's worse.
state is expected to change requirements again. Most graduating seniors will likely need 22 credits to graduate. But again, state assessments will only count for 20% of the final grade.
Do you think this is lowering the standards?
Well, anytime you got to do less to get to the same result, I think you're taking a hit on your standards.
The
Here we
Maryland
go.
State Department of Education will not
Let's do this, and then we'll. Here's an article here. Watch. This is Fox News. You should be all right.
Younger generations are falling behind as reading declines. According to a survey, last year, Gen Z read fewer books than any generation. And more than 1/3 of kindergarten through 12th grade students said they dislike reading.
A Pepperdine University professor told Fortune, quote, "It's not even an inability to critically think. It's an inability to read sentences. I feel like I'm tap dancing and having to read things aloud. There's no way that I'm going to
Look at that, guys. Snowboard. What do we blame it on?
The Tylenol. Adderall. Adderall is meth light, guys. Just so you know.
Yeah.
And if you need to dispose of any of it, you can send it to me, and I'll properly dispose of it for you.
Oh, look at that. Tyler says that he's not having kids because reading someone's sleeve from a minimum dollar. Guys, this is incorrect thinking. Guys, minimum wage is a choice. You know, guys, graduate from high school, get your IT certs, join the military, get a trade. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Guys, you don't have to work at Wally World. You can be 18, 19. My nephew, he actually works for this pool cleaning business. So he's outside. He replaces the filters. So he makes pretty good money for being 20 years old.
Yeah.
But he wants to do his CDL. No. He wants to move into being an electrician. You know what I'm saying? So, guys, it's all about what you choose to do. You don't have to make minimum wage. You know, you say, look, figure out what yearly earning trajectory you want, and look into the jobs that'll get you there, and just try the ones that you want until you find something that you can't stand. You don't have to like your job, guys. Guys, here, I don't like any job. I don't want to work, right? I was never taught that work's supposed to be fun, right? We're men, guys. Only women go, oh, I love my job. What matters is that paycheck.
Yeah. Well, you can have some fun at work too.
Yeah.
There is. You can have some fun. You have to make it fun, but you
Yeah.
can have some fun. And you can follow your passion a little bit to a degree. That's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
Hey, look at Seth that says, I joined the Navy, saw the world at the bottom of the beer glass for 20 years.
With her take is Brooke Uden, co-founder of Enriched Literacy Education. Brooke, what is going on? This is terrible news.
It really starts in the earliest ages, and we're seeing studies of children as early as primary school age that are unable to perform basic skills because I believe they're not being read to, they're not being spoken to in the home. Their communication skills are so much lower than children of that age, even just 10, 20 years ago. One UK study reports, 600 teachers were interviewed, and they said the children don't know their names, how to use the bathroom.
Whoa!
Wait, what?
Your name? Guys, even kids that have Downs know their own names.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my God! And how many of them are raised in a single mother household more than before?
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah.
You can't
which is
make
really
this
terrible.
up.
Fast forward, we have Los Angeles Unified School District, second largest school district in
Oh, guys, we hit 100 likes in record time. Guys, let's go.
Nice.
Thanks for that, guys. I appreciate you.
United States. We have parents there saying their children are on iPads all day. One mom reports her 6-year-old wet himself at the table 4 times. He's otherwise neurotypical, does not have an issue with toileting because he was on an iPad and lost track of time and was overstimulated.
Look
So
at
if we're
that.
replacing human interaction and reading with iPads,
No, wait, whoa. She's acting like it's his fault. It's her fault.
I know this is what I'm saying, dude. A lot of this is the parents' fault.
Yeah.
Like it's really kind of like 80%, or I said 60% before, kind of the parents' fault. You got to check up on this. If your kid's pissing themselves at the table, that's not the school teacher's fault. Is a school teacher a dunderhead as well? Absolutely. But come on now.
Guys, are they trying to say like read 5.8 books a year or in their lifetime, or what is this? Is this yearly? There's no measurement.
Yeah, because they know the people looking this don't even know how to probably read anyway. So it just looks good.
people aren't going to like reading. iPads are a lot more intrinsically interesting to the brain. The dopamine is lighting up. It's exciting. Reading takes work.
It's so interesting, and we've spent so much time talking about how that engagement with an iPhone or an iPad kind of scatters the brain and causes anxiety and things like that. But what we don't spend enough time talking about is the importance of sort of the other end of the spectrum, which is the devotion of the mind to a book or to something you're reading and learning to read, and how that actually calms the mind and focuses the mind.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of research out there about even, the very littlest age, when we respond to our babies make a noise and we respond. That's called serve and return. That is how they develop language. And, it's interesting because going back to LAUSD, their argument for bringing technology into the classroom was this is going to level the field from a socioeconomic perspective because children that are in underserved communities need to be tech literate. Well, actually, the research shows it has very little to do with your means.
Exactly. That's why back in the day, you would have rural white communities where they have these, they have a school marm teaching in a shack, right? You have the black parts of town, right, where everyone was literate, everyone could read, everyone had basic reading, writing, and arithmetic skills. Kids were learning algebra. Even in the third world, kids will come here doing better math than kids in the United States, and they learn how to do it in a hut in friggin' Senegal.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Where there is also a little bit of a gap. Often the more Catholic schools and religious schools actually tend to do a little bit better of a job because they are more willing to discipline them, and they want them to be more of a representation than just some state slop.
Yeah.
In terms of the quality of the language development in your home. It has to do with how much you interact and talk to and read to your child. And now we're looking at, the New York Times this fall came out with an article, 1/3 of our high school seniors are not ready for college. They are not on a basic reading level.
Wow. Yeah,
1/3 of our high school seniors.
It's fascinating. These tech oligarchs convinced all of the schools and the government to put these devices into the school, these iPads, and then they send their own kids to Waldorf schools with like wooden toys.
It was these moms that were saying, "Oh, it's not fair." Guys, it's a feminist communist mindset that everyone all has to have the same thing. There's rich kids or well-to-do kids who have an iPad, so everyone needs to have one. You don't think that some rich corporatist is gonna, guys? Isn't this feminist? Isn't this feminism as a whole? Think of this.
Yep.
So the feminists had a stupid idea that the corporate fat cats could make money from. Isn't that indicative of feminism as a whole? Feminism itself is a stupid idea that corporate fat cats make money from, right?
A really good idea by them.
Am I wrong? Did I say anything wrong here? Man, guys, how good are we at this, right? How good are we at thinking this stuff
It's
up?
fascinating to me, and also the fact that a lot of moms aren't reading to their children. So that's a big deal. Thank you, Brooke. It's a very important topic.
Thank you, Brooke.
All right, guys, look at this. This one last story, and then we will go to this article.
But also, who's in charge of most education? Women.
Yeah.
They're not delivering results here at all.
Yeah, see, you guys remember this chick?
Yeah. She can't. She's in college. She can't even read. She has like a
got
translator.
accepted to a college, and she's in college, and she can't read. She cannot read.
Yeah. They call that being retarded.
Hell.
Did you ever think you'd be going to college here?
No, never. Never in a million years.
In some ways, Alicia Ortiz is living an American dream. The 19-year-old began her freshman year at the University of Connecticut in Hartford this fall. She's excited to study public policy, the culmination of hard work.
Of course she is. Oh my God.
That's who's gonna make public policy in the future. Holy crap!
Guys, come on.
Somali release.
Guys, come on.
You've been had. You've been took. You can't make this up. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Guys, my background's public policy. Do you know how reading intensive public policy is, guys? Do you know how much you have to be able to read and comprehend to actually major in public policy, guys?
I don't
It's
know really what goes
absolute.
into it.
Here's the thing, okay?
I
Public
believe
policy.
you. I'm just saying I don't know.
Public policies. You can write okay. You know how they have tax loopholes?
Yeah.
Loopholes they come from when you don't shore up the language in said policy, because you can interpret something as let's just say that you are what's a good example?
Like saying what we don't know
Here.
what is.
You sell all types, that you're a premium liquor store. You sell premium liquor. And they're trying to shut you down. Well, if they've never defined what premium is, it doesn't apply to you, right?
Yeah.
They should have, and thoroughly in that policy said, this is what premium means, and this is what this policy or this law is going to apply to. So if you don't know, it's like being a lawyer, how people lawyer their way out of things, right? Well, you didn't say that, I can't even think of
Well, we don't know what, like the Clinton thing, we don't know what is in this situation.
Exactly. Yes. Guys, that people joke, but no, like that's a real
happens
thing.
all the time. Yeah.
That's an actual thing. Where you need to be very careful with your language when it comes to laws and policy, because if it's not defined, they can wiggle their way out of it. That's just the way it works. That's what those stupid sovereign citizens try and do with, like, driving and traveling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, what do said terms mean? What exactly does this apply to? Right. So when you write policy, you have to be very, very careful and very, very, very succinct with what you are writing down, so that it applies to said thing, or the thing is basically meaningless,
So essentially, this is like I didn't even know that was entailed in that, but essentially, either way, this is the last job that this person should ever get.
Thank you.
And she'll probably get it as a DEI hire.
Yeah.
No, the thing with this is,
go ahead.
So in any document, especially like legal or policy documents, any ambiguity in their language is by default going in the favor of the person disputing it.
Yep, that's true. That's
Right,
like
so-
when they don't define a homeowner as a person who owns a single family home or a condo or a townhouse or has an apartment. Yeah. Imagine how crazy that back and forth, or trying to apply different rules. Well, you have a duplex, but they're saying that that's a home. You're said homeowner. Like, wait a minute, this doesn't apply to me. And it's up to you to find a lawyer that can say, he doesn't own a home.
Yep.
He owns a condo. And this doesn't count because it doesn't fit this criteria.
I have
Colin, you were saying? Sorry.
So no, I was just going to say, in the future, when she, inevitably files for bankruptcy and she tries to get her student loans forgiven, her lawyer is going to argue, well, it doesn't matter that she didn't read the fine print; she couldn't read the fine print.
Exactly.
Perfect. I have some exact experience though. What you're saying about like, could it be a house? Could it be a duplex? My friend basically made a lawsuit against our own government insurance commissioners for this, and basically saying that they called it a commercial property. He's like, but this is not a commercial property. So he's getting basically Liberty Mutual is messing him up, but he's trying to go through the insurance commissioner and all that. And when we went there, and I went to him, I actually kind of like helped him work on this, but he had to print like, we had literally a little cart filled with the paperwork because you had to like print it all out, filled with boxes of paperwork. And the two people who are in charge of it are two like people from the Mucinex commercial, Dunderhead Women. That's who, Dunderhead Women. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, we didn't even look into any of this. We don't really even know what a bunch of the codes are. Like, so that can also serve the system in a way too.
Yeah. Well, we'll look at, guys, what are the ones that us men have to deal with kind of the most? If you get a prenups, if they're signed under duress, do not count. So that's, what is duress? What does it mean? What does that mean exactly? No, but we would think that it would be that you have a gun to the person's head. But like, oh, I was on my period, or I was. They can argue all types of stuff. It's up to, and they can prove that. There was a TikToker saying, if he wants you to sign a prenup, sign it, but make sure to take some drugs right before you do, because then you can say that you were intoxicated, or you weren't in the right state of mind to actually sign that legal document. It voids it out. So that's what you got to worry about.
Yeah,
as a policy person. So
Rico as a child. Do you remember when you first?
Guys, she's Puerto Rican, so like they speak English in Puerto Rico. And so I was like, what? You can't read? It's not like she's coming from El Salvador or whatever. She's from the United States.
Came to Connecticut?
Yes, I remember I was very nervous, but I know it was gonna be better opportunities for me to learn.
But Alicia says those opportunities never came to fruition.
Even today, could you read this, or would it take you a long time?
It's impossible. I just see his words everywhere.
Alicia graduated from the Hartford Public School System last year.
Now, here's the thing, guys. This is on her too, because like, bro, you know something's wrong. Why would you? Because isn't this an example of how women are accepting awards and recognition for stuff that they didn't do? Like, why would she even choose to graduate? Like, you don't qualify.
You're right, and she has wicked high self-esteem, probably. As if she really did that. She's like, I work hard. I know about discipline. Because
what are these tassels she has? I hope those aren't honors tassels. Oh, that'd be hilarious, right? She's on the honor roll and she's a tard, please.
But she says today she is illiterate. She still doesn't know how to read or write. When she was in early education,
they would just either tell me to stay in a corner and sleep, or just draw pictures, flowers for them.
And when she was in high school, she relied on speech-to-text programs and other apps to read and write essays.
So if you had an assignment where you had to write something, you'd open up a document like this and then do what?
I would go here to use the text-to-speech.
It says dictate.
Dictate, yep. I love pizza.
This is how you would do your assignments.
Oh my God.
I love pizza.
That's a great point. That's the best you could come up with.
Look, Snowboard, can you save her?
I don't know.
You can do it, man. You can do it.
Give her a piece of this pepperoni. Oh, you want the pepperoni? This is bad.
Guys, here, props to Apple or Google or whatever that can translate her English into friggin' real English, you know? Come on.
Cats of the World VAK sporting a twin prop airplane.
If you had to read something, that's how you do it.
She said her mother, who does not speak English well, tried to get answers.
She advocated so much.
Yeah,
she went to the
right.
school. The principal will promise her that they will do better. And sometimes there will be people from the district or the directors promising her that they will do better.
Now, Alicia is suing the Hartford Board of Education and the city for negligence. The suit alleges the school district documented and acknowledged Alicia's learning challenges through multiple grades, but because they were not adequately addressed, she continued to struggle academically and began exhibiting maladaptive behaviors in the classroom.
Sometimes I will feel proud to be the bad child because at least I was something to them, and I wasn't invisible.
While the city of Hartford and an educator named
Please, you live on Easy Street.
It's like I'm watching an episode of The Simpsons here.
Yeah, guys, what percentage of her teachers do you think were women?
About
95.
Yeah, I'd say that.
She declined to comment when contacted by CNN. In a statement, Hartford Public Schools wrote, "While Hartford Public Schools cannot comment on pending litigation, we remain deeply committed to meeting the full range of needs our students bring with them when they enter our schools.
They just lie their tits off everywhere.
And helping them reach their full potential."
All right, guys, here, let's do this here. Guys, hit the like button, guys. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the cash apps, guys. Hit the join button for a membership. There's a couple of videos I'm going to be putting out that are going to be members only for various reasons. So guys, there will be members only content coming out here soon. Gen Z's arriving at college unable to read. Personally, it's not even an inability to critically think, it's an inability to read sentences. Look at that. So it said that as the final waves of Gen Z, the youngest of whom are currently 14, make their way through high school and into colleges, trade schools, some higher education structures are noticing a severe lack of reading comprehension skills in their schools. Schools, in turn, are finding that the only path forward is to drastically lower their expectations for better or for worse. So, this person's one of the professors who had to quietly lower her academic benchmarks thanks to a rise in barely literate Gen Zers graduating from American high schools. Rather than assigning reading outside of class, she told people that she's adopted a kind of in-class popcorn reading, so reciting passages together and discussing them line by line. This is in college, guys. Even that, unfortunately, might be a stretch for some students. Person says, I feel like I'm tap dancing and having to read things aloud because there's no way that anyone can read it the night before. Even when you read it, there's so much they can't process about the very words that are on the page. Look at that. It's worth pausing here to point out that you can't really blame these young people as struggling at what were once seen as academic basics. The school system is in shambles and their education was bisected by the cough. And they've been reared into a world that's increasingly de-emphasized reading in favor of videos, voiceovers, and other emerging forms of communication. He's creating practical problems, as Timothy O'Malley, professor of theology at University of Notre Dame, that students are showing up unprepared for class, but the lowered expectations are even worse. He said that he's had to assign 25 to 40 pages of reading per class. Students would do it or they wouldn't. Nowadays, that much reading is unthinkable. Today, if you assign that amount of reading, they often don't know what to do. They've been formed in a kind of scanning approach to reading. They're skating by on AI. Look at that. The news of Gen Z's waning literacy comes along with a substantial decline in literary acumen among Americans broadly. Over the last 20 years, for example, the amount of adults reading recreationally in the United States has fallen by 40%. Meanwhile, the survey of the Program for International Assessment of Adult Competencies, PII, found that the 59 million Americans are reading at a level 1 competency or below. Wow. Younger Americans are barely able to grapple with the written word. Short of major structural changes to the U.S. system of education, it's likely Gen Z won't be the last generation to experience worse literacy rates than the ones that came before. Guys, what do you think? You know?
Well, I think also part of it, or other elements to this, are that number one, they've had more access to technology for longer. And a lot of that can make people try to communicate with like emojis and memes and things. So there's also a rise, and it's one of the easiest times ever to not know how to read and be able to like live and whatnot. So I'm not like defending them. I'm just saying that is part of the environment that they're in too. And that's why I think a lot of it gets overlooked, because they seem like they're interacting and stuff. And not to mention this, they can just do talk to text and ask Siri to say things too, and then and type it out for them.
Yeah.
So think of that. They probably do this all the time. They like say something, just type it out for them, and they just hit send and don't even like have any clue like
not at all
what they're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm saying that like, so there's that, but also too, they know how to code language for like plug and hook up, hang out. They know how to code language and use certain words to not say what it really is too. So they should be able to know how to read a little bit better. Like, this is just ridiculous. They have, it's almost kind of like the technology is too much where you can just like watch like YouTube videos and stuff a lot. So I do kind of see part of it, but I don't think they're going to read any actual books. And their attention span, part of the big problem, TikTok and stuff, you have a 48-second or so like attention span. You're not going to sit down and get deep into a thought or read a book and concentrate on that for a while.
Yeah.
They're physically being trained to be wired that way. Like they're you know what I'm saying? They're conditioned to do that like a dog. Seriously, it's like Pavlov's 304 out there.
guys, wait till we get to TikTok and you're gonna see chicks that openly admit that their reading comprehension is trash. Like, I read books and I'm like, the what?
And they're doing just fine too, which pisses me off.
The baseball. Guys, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button.
But you know what they know how to read? On the ballot box, how to check for Kamala Harris or whatever.
Exactly.
They know how to read that much and do that much.
Yeah, that's true. Guys, here, this is another one here. Let's speed this. Here we go.
Listen to this. A shocking new report shows a surge of Gen Z college freshmen can't even do basic math. A UC San Diego study showing back in 2020, there were 30 incoming freshmen with below high school level math skills. That number sits at more than 900 students in 2025. So here's a question. Are schools just passing students to keep up graduation rates? Joining me now is senior fellow and education expert with the American Enterprise Institute, Robert Pundicio. Robert, thank you so much for joining us. Give us a sense of the significance of this problem. What are some examples found in this report?
The best example is UC San Diego. I mean, this is not Joe Bob Community College. This is a prestigious state university in California. 1 out of 8 of their freshman class needed remedial math. They're in middle school level math, or they couldn't even.
1 out of 8.
No, did he say middle school level math?
Middle school level math.
Did he just say middle school, not high school?
Middle school math. Middle school math. Absolutely insane. And this, guys, was it UC San Diego? Let's see. UC San Diego tuition. Let's see. So with everything, hold on, let me see. It's like for in-state tuition, it's like 20. oof. If you do room and board and tuition, it is $40,000 a year to go there. Crazy.
Middle school level
at
math.
UC San Diego. So if it's happening there, you have to assume it's happening everywhere.
UC San Diego has an acceptance rate of 30%.
That's right. It's an elite institution.
And some of these
Look at
students can't even pass middle school. Why is this happening?
So they have a 30% acceptance rate, and they're still getting a whole bunch of tards. That's how bad the school system is. Think about that. Prestigious school in my eye. Yep.
How much time do you have? It's a bit of a perfect storm, right? If you remember COVID, and we all do, children, especially kids who are freshmen now, lost all a part of 3 years of schooling. They went completely remote for a year, and then they had on again, off again disruptions in many parts of the country for the following 2 years. That exacts a toll after a while. Math is one of those subjects that there's a logic to it. First you learn to add and subtract, then you do fractions and decimals, then you do higher math. If your education is being interrupted by COVID, then that's going to be a problem. But even that, there's a bit of a perfect storm because we had test blind admission. So if you're in sympathy to UC San Diego, if you're an admissions officer, how do you know if the kid can or can't do math when there's no SAT or ACT to look at?
Oh, I certainly don't think this is the college's fault. I mean,
how are you going to get into UC San Diego with no SAT scores? Is that not the most woman woke thing that you've ever heard? Can you imagine, Snowboard, if you started hiring staff and they had no way to actually prove that they can climb a tree or climb a pole or operate a chainsaw?
Yeah, no, it's big ramifications.
Come on, man.
And not only that, no, I can't imagine it. Why? Because generally, if you have anyone do anything where they're responsible, you have to kind of like size them up a little bit outside of what even a resume says.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's even more of a failure of faculty, in which who runs college admissions? Women
do. Yeah.
A ton of men. Everywhere you look, there's a woman or a small hat just messing stuff up, taking.
Doesn't make any sense.
Looking at these applications and everything looks great on paper, which is really the problem.
Some of the kids, Carly, had 4.0s in math, and it turns out they can't do middle school.
Oh my goodness.
math.
Another factor that I was reading about that really happens across the country is grade inflation.
Right.
And to me,
that's Marxism, guys, right?
Yep.
It doesn't matter the effort. Everyone passes the test. Everyone gets the same grade. What a joke.
And it doesn't uplift people. This is bringing the standard down.
Yeah, this is what Thomas Sowell had said about why the affirmative action's a joke. It actually hurts minorities more than helping. Because if you're a woman, or if you're black, or if you're Hispanic and you're super smart, let's just say that you're in the top like 95%. Well, then you might belong at UT Austin or UC San Diego or UCLA or whatever, but you don't belong in like at Stanford or Harvard. So what happens is you have that person that was in the top 95%, but in order to make it at Yale, you got to be in the top 97%. So they'll let that minority into that top 97% school, and they struggle. They either drop out or they switch to humanities, which is a useless major. It's like you're better off staying at a state school and becoming an engineer than going to Harvard and having to switch to an art history degree because you don't because you can't keep up. Most people can't keep up at Harvard. So why are you letting those that don't that can't pass the test get in? It doesn't make any sense.
Because that means that you're rewarding failure, not just for the student, but also for the school. Because a lot of these schools, they lose federal funding if they don't meet a certain standard. So, okay, we turn a D into a B and none the wiser.
Yeah, the thing to watch, and this is a little wonky, but there's a test that's gone back since the Nixon administration. It's called NAEP, the National Assessment of Educational Progress. And for years, it was drifting upwards. It took a big hit during COVID and then still hasn't recovered. But figure this out. If NAEP is telling you that kids are not achieving, but graduation rates are high, state tests are high,
there you go.
College acceptances are high, what does that tell you?
Yeah. That everything should be great.
Well, it tells me at least, that we are running things for the benefit of adults. And look, I'm sympathetic to this, right? We want to be able to say to kids and families, look, yes, COVID was a problem, but look, we recovered. Our graduation rates are back. The problem is that all of those things are subject to human manipulation.
Right.
NAEP is not, but all those other things, state tests, graduation rates, etc. Those are subject
So
to
what needs to be done to fix this issue?
Transparency would be my best guess. One thing we haven't even talked about, Carly, is something called credit recovery, where you can fail a class and then sit in front of a computer for the weekend, answer some multiple choice questions, and then you're good to go. But we don't know, and college admissions offices probably don't know, did this kid graduate because he or she
get the women out of education, right, guys? Yeah. Put a 1 and antics Semantics. I am right about affirmative action, bro. Because here's the thing. Affirmative action is not a legit pathway. You are incorrect, sir. Here's the thing, guys. My parents were seriously like excellent at everything, right? They taught us to be excellent at everything. Okay. When I went to college, when I was doing things, I know for a fact that I outworked white kids, Asian kids, or whatever, But here's the thing: as long as affirmative action's there, people can go, oh, well, women, blacks, Hispanics, you're only here because of affirmative action. You didn't truly work your way in.
Yeah.
Now, I would rather have us come in on a slower trickle on our own merit than be let in and not be qualified.
Yeah.
Anyone who reads Thomas Sowell can understand how harmful and damaging affirmative action, DEI, and all this crap is. It's crap. I've been black for 45 years, right? I've been in nothing but spaces with Asians and people who work hard. I work just as hard. I'm just as smart. Matter of fact, I don't even mind working harder. I know that I have to work harder. Do I care? No, because it's made me who I am today. Affirmative action, DEI is one of the worst. Let's put a 1 if you agree. Affirmative action is one of the worst things to ever happen to the workplace, to happen to education.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I once read somewhere, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the number one population that benefited the most from affirmative action were white women.
Exactly.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. DEI and affirmative action didn't even barely benefit us blacks, Hispanics, disabled men anyways. It was all about white women. White women got more DEI stuff than anything else. So right there, you should not believe in affirmative action or DEI because it's documented. So
Get the working class, or is it credit recovery?
And the problem is that this does catch up with young people.
Absolutely.
Because when they go to college, they will be over their head. And if they pass there, it will eventually catch up with them in the workforce.
workplace, that's right.
Really quickly, because we have to leave it here, but I just want to get 2 answers from you. What is the best state when it comes to the education system, and what's the worst?
Well, that's a great question, because historically it has been Massachusetts, which has been a national leader for years, but they've kind of
and
been...
even then,
yeah,
I could even say this, guys. Anytime that my dad felt like complaining back when he was in medical school, he realized that there was this one guy. He was a Vietnamese guy. His family was one of the last planes out of Vietnam after we pulled out of Vietnam. He came here with his wife and his 3 kids, no English, right? Did his ESL classes, taught himself English because his math scores were so high. He actually got into college. Like, he filled out the application, took the test. His math scores were off the charts, but he had to do his ESL. So he was learning English while he was in college. While he was in college, did his undergrad, went to medical school, and became a doctor. So he would actually take time where he was looking at the Vietnamese to English translation also while he was in medical school.
And pre-iPhones and stuff.
Yes! He taught himself that. My dad goes, as a black guy who lives in the United States, who was born here, whatever, he has no room to complain. Guys, nothing worth having is ever easy. And guys, the worst thing that you can do is compare yourself to another group and say, oh, this have it easier. You don't know what anyone else is going through. You don't know if that person is, and that's such a woman thing to do, where, snowboard makes more money. It has to be because of discrimination. Whoa, maybe he works more hours, right? Maybe he negotiated a better salary. Yeah.
I take more pain.
Guys, do you remember Google? The women at Google were like, oh, these men are making more than us. And then there was an audit, and turns out that they were actually getting paid more than the men, and the men had to get back pay. And then a friend of mine, he's a paramedic, and they're offering unlimited overtime. So he's working 7 days a week to pay off his friggin' Hellcat Challenger, and then he would put a down payment on a house. Did you know that his county, that the women were like, "What, the men are making more money than us?" So they actually brought in an auditor, and it turns out, guess who was working the overtime, guys?
Man,
Guess who wasn't working the overtime?
304s.
Thank you very much. Never compare yourself to other people unless it's blatant that they're paying you less, and then but then you negotiate. If you don't get what you want, leave. But don't assume that someone just had so much of an easier journey. Because here's the thing about even then. Oh, well, there's this white guy at my job. There was a guy that I used to work with. He's a white dude. He graduated from Penn with his degree in microbiology or molecular biology. He's from rural bumfuck Appalachia. There was one school in his town. No one in his family had ever gone to college. None of his siblings, only one of them graduated from high school. They grew up in a 2-bedroom house. He had 8 siblings. He grew up in a level of poverty that I cannot even imagine. And if I grew up poor while my parents were in college. This guy came from a background that I could never even fathom. But there was people that I worked with who saw him getting promotions. Oh, he got that because he's white. Get the fuck out of here.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Now, I can tell you that where I work, when the company first started, they actually had to bring in a diversity consultant. And you guys know what they found out? That the majority of our organization was female, was white women. At every level was white women. So they actually had to bring more men in because it was disproportionately favoring white women. Guys, here, let's do this.
One drunk black dude equals 3 white women. And that's pretty fair. That's not bad.
Hold on.
A disturbing new report on what kids are reading, or rather not reading, in school. The New York Times with this headline: kids rarely read whole books.
It's a bad thing, Antics, because that's not diversity. How is having a whole bunch of one group diverse? Oh, so now you replace white cisgendered hetero white men with cisgendered woke liberal white women. Yeah, that's great for the organization. Come on, man. I thought that they were trying to be diverse, because this is the okie doke that these feminists want. This is why now always makes white women the ultimate victims in everything. Right?
Here's the thing, AJ.
Wait. This is why they don't consider Asians, blacks, anyone else. We don't have a say on the left in this social justice conversation, because unless you're LDHT TV or some white chick, you don't count. You don't count. It's a joke. That's why the whole liberal leftist argument is crap, because white women have made themselves ultimate victims. Guys, put a 1 in this chat, and anyone, Larry, all you guys chime in. You know that white women, if you go by leftist logic, I would say white women are actually more racist than white men are.
Yep.
I have had white
suburban ones.
Yeah, especially white
100%.
chicks are more likely to call the cops on C-Grip, myself, and Tim Hicks jogging through their neighborhoods than a white dude will. I would say that a redneck, rootin' tootin', gun shooting, fishing white dude is more tolerant. If you're a cool guy who brings beer to the fishing hole, you can hang out with redneck Rob all day long.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It's true.
Guys, what do we always say? college educated, upper middle class white women are the most dangerous group of people on planet Earth. And if you are a non-white woman and you think that these white liberal chicks have your best interest at heart,
you've been hacked. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
This
Larry,
is
you were
another
saying-
facet
on
of them.
snowboard. I interrupted Larry. So, Larry, you were saying?
No, so this guy was saying, like, how is it a bad thing to include people like that? And I just want to look at it from his perspective and the perspective of the people he thinks he's helping. You are not helping anybody with this DEI inclusion stuff because you're setting people up for failure. You're trying to put them in an environment where they are not qualified to perform.
Yeah.
That's how it's a bad thing, you moron. Okay.
Yeah.
You put people where they can thrive. You don't put people where they're not going to be successful and they're not qualified for.
Yeah. Guys, there are in Seagrip, Rajai, anyone black that's in this chat, sound off. Have you ever seen these knuckleheaded B-dubs who are like, I want to go to college and see like 50-50 blacks and whites. We're only 13% of the population. What are you talking about? We don't have enough numbers. You cannot expect to walk into any major organization and see just as many black executives as there are whites, just as many black teachers and lawyers. If we don't have the numbers, we live in a country where the majority happens to be white. Guys, I don't believe in white privilege. I believe in majority privilege. In any country, the majority has privileges over the minority. That's just how it works. But there's nothing intrinsic about being white that gives white people advantages. If we were in China, guys, we wouldn't be treated the same as the Chinese. If we were in Japan, in Nigeria, because put a 1 if you agree. The United States does more than any country to bridge the gap between minorities and the majority. We do more than anyone else. You think that the Chinese want to give Japanese or Pakistani immigrants any consideration at all? Come on, man.
Yeah,
Yes,
you think any of these countries would ever even think about allowing all these Somali pirates to rob the country blind?
Oh, it's true.
And guys, also too, here's the thing. I don't see anything wrong with employers discriminating for any reason, honestly. Why would I want to work in a place that doesn't want me there? Why? If I walk into a restaurant and the person says no N-words are out, what they're dumb enough to not take money from one group, and also the court of public opinion now will close on them, obviously, because if there's some Christian bakery and they don't want to cook a LDHCT TV cake, what's wrong with that? I don't see an issue. I don't want to go where I'm not wanted. I don't have the hubris. I don't have the narcissism to actually think that in this day and age, with the cultural shift that's happened, that we should have to force people to deal with each other. Because guys, look at this. Guys, yes or no? People naturally form themselves into groups based on appearance and other things, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you take kids that they will form with the black kids, lots of groups choose to self-segregate. That's why there's Chinatown. You go to Chinatown, the doctors are Chinese, the lawyers are Chinese. They self-segregate. Koreatown, little Odessa. You know what I'm saying? There are a group of said people who want to live by themselves, which is why it irks me. And I know that I'm going on this tirade here. You guys remember when there was that one group of white people in Arkansas that said that they want to have an all-white community, right? And everyone said,
"Yep."
Why? Why is that a bad thing? Let them do it. I don't want to go there. What is Seagrip and I gonna go there for? Why?
Because
Why
you don't
should
want to
they?
hang around other people that look like you've said.
No.
I know.
But
I'm messing with
there's
you.
but
There's
there's
no reason.
other.
It's unnecessary.
I would prefer that let people that discriminate and that are racist say their stuff out loud, but so I know who to not hang around. The majority of people in the United States like to be around people of other groups. That's just how it works. We live in the most diverse country on planet Earth, especially us men. You guys think that if it's a pickup basketball game and there's some racist white kid, what he's gonna not want black dudes on his team?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys think that if there's a racist,
We know his lawyer's the small hat still.
yeah.
It happens.
You guys think that if there's a ping pong coach that who hates
Not gonna
Asians,
pick
he doesn't
Asians.
want Asians? Come on, guys, let's be honest here. You guys, I seriously, right? Oh, and King Raymond said the whole Black Wall Street thing. Guys, here's the thing: we define Black history by the South. Guys, look at the North and look at the West Coast and other places. Guys,
Hampshire didn't do anything.
A completely different experience that blacks in New York and Harlem and other places had experienced. But somehow the 1910s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 1800s, guys, there was blacks in the North too who were doing quite a few things that was a different experience than blacks in the South. But we only define our culture by what happened in the South. And it drives me crazy. So they burned down Black Wall Street. There was other black neighborhoods in Michigan, in Minnesota, in California, where there was blacks who were thriving, doing businesses, investing, doing all kinds of things. Yet we only talk about Black Wall Street. If I see Black Wall Street one more time, I would tear. I don't have any hair, obviously, but guys, it just drives me absolutely insane. Because there was you guys know, is it Palo Alto or one of those? There was a Chinese community. You guys know that the Chinese built the railroads, right? When they were building the railroads.
Well, wait a minute, AJ. I thought it was just only black people that built everything.
Yeah.
Because they don't give Asians credit for that. It's hard work.
Here's the thing. During the gold rush, the Chinese built a lot of towns in California. And there was one town, I forget, get the name, where they found gold. And raised this entire Chinese community to the ground. They got all of them out of there because the company that was trying to get gold, they wouldn't leave. So they were like a Chinese kind of trading community where all the traders and gold people came, and they said no. So these white dude, these cowpokes and scallywags came to town, these ne'er-do-wells, and they burned them down. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So everyone's like, yeah, but that only happened to us blacks. No, it happened to other people too. In Michigan, the Puerto Ricans, there was a race riot because these white sailors, they were messing with the Puerto Rican community. There was a fight. The cops came and like a bunch of Puerto Ricans got shot. So this is not an experience that is unique to us. And guys, once again, it might have happened in history, fine. But guys, what does it matter now? Like what? I was born in 1980. How does that affect me? It just doesn't make any sense. I think that the United States is actually more ignorant now than anything else because the majority doesn't have to know about minorities. So as I don't assume malice, people say silly stuff to me all the time because I'm from Washington State. Outside of Colin, if you're there, outside of Seattle, Olympia, Tacoma, and maybe Federal Way, there are no black people. You go to Bremerton, but you go out of the peninsula, go towards the beach. So I've had people just say silly stuff because they don't see the only blacks that they see are on television. There's huge swathes of the United
Vermont
States
is like this.
Yes.
There's literally no black people at all, but they
But
tell
guys-
you to live around them and love. But
Yes.
there's none for hundreds of
So guys,
miles.
if
It's
some
crazy.
if some person says something silly like I don't even know what, it's like, well, are they actively trying to be racist? Probably not. They just assume that what they see on television's wrong. I mean, it's correct. They assume that what they see on television is correct. Guys, RZA from Wu-Tang, he was funny because he was saying that the best thing that he ever did was watch WWF when he was young, because he said he didn't even know what a Samoan was until he watched the WWF. And they had the crazy Samoans, and who was the guy who spit the green mist? The great Muda, the Japanese guy. That's what made him want to study Japan is the great Muda going out there spitting the green mist, So all I'm saying is that guys, we always try and act like there's this overarching sense of justice, this cosmic sense of justice, and I just don't see it. I don't. Like, life isn't fair. It happens. There's only two things that you can do: nothing and like it, overcome it. So, guys, in one last thing, Secret, my
What's up,
friend,
brother?
cook with me here, guys. I always find it rich that blacks that live in the hood always blame white people for all their problems and talk about racism. When guys, Secret can sign off here. Tim Hicks, Ray Jai, all you guys. As you get more successful as a black person, the less black people you see around you. In college, in the workplace. That's just how it works.
Damn.
Yep.
Correct, Secret?
That's called the well law.
No.
I want to say you wrong, but I'm damn it. You got
true.
me.
It's true. So what I'm saying is, how is it that I, who spent my entire, teenage life, middle school life, work life, and college life around the round majority whites, why am I not complaining about racism? And yet someone who grew up in a predominantly black area that doesn't see white people on a daily basis, they're all, white people this and white people that. It's a victimhood mentality that people have. It's people blaming other people for their problems. And the weakest, dumbest, most moronic thing that people can do, and guys, let me know if you agree, is presuppose that one group is responsible for all of your problems. Whether it's women, small hats, white
It's easy
people,
to do.
whatever. It's easy to do.
It
It's moronic thinking, and it's never going to get you anywhere, ever. So, anyways,
AJ, I don't know if you had a chance to check out Rob Schneider, the comedian, had a really good joke about California reparation. It's like 30 seconds long. I posted it in the private chat.
It is. California is a place where there was no slavery. Yeah, that's just smart. They're going to give reparations. That makes perfect sense.
Probably the most craziest state. They passed this thing called slave reparations. California is going to pay slave reparations to people who are never slaves, to be paid for by people who never owned slaves in a state that never had slaves.
Nice.
That's like paying child support for a child you never had.
Just like Nug Nug.
It just doesn't.
It's true. You guys, it's all performative. They're never going to give. Let's just say they did pass this, and they're not going to give any money out. It's all a bunch of woke liberal white chicks trying to beat their chest and put a Black Lives Matter sticker on their friggin' laptop or their Starbucks stuff. It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Well, that's half the reason it's pushed, because when we say women live on easy mode, this is a part of an aspect of that easy mode.
Yeah.
Who does it benefit the most? Women. Who perpetuates it? Women. And it's probably hot women and mostly white women who benefited from most of it, like you said before. So that is one thing that's really bad, because that lowers the standard for everybody.
Yeah.
And it actually hurts humanity, because you're like, hey, like, we're all just humans here. We don't need to categorize you. If you're good if someone is good at cutting a tree, he'll say like, yeah, I want to be around you because you're good at that. I don't care what you really look like.
But here's the thing though, guys, and all you guys that were in the military, you guys know, guys, let's get those likes up, guys. You guys know this. You guys probably dealt with some good old boys in the military, right? But once you start to respect each other, all that goes away. Guys, competency, commonality is how men get past these things. It's women who hold these grudges. It's women who still act on these silly, crazy, outdated stereotypes and racist things. Men, most of us have moved past this.
Yep.
Because if someone's useful to us, it doesn't matter what their race is. If a dude can come and fix my roof, I don't care if it's Jamal, Jorge, Chinwoo, I don't care, you know?
Yeah.
So, well, guys, here, let's...
Equality means responsibility with a hard R.
Look at this guy. Here we go. Guys, come on. Why do we keep letting it on?
I cannot believe you made a hard R joke, bro.
It's a hard R for responsibility. We're all responsible. That's what I'm saying.
All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. On.
Number of videos of teachers talking about how kids don't know how to think critically these days. And I think about this one situation with my ex.
Now, guys, this is true. Okay, watch.
He was telling me stories about, he was a high school English teacher, about one of his kids, how they had a meltdown in class because they did not realize that there's more in the world besides the United States. Now, mind you, we could definitely take this in a particular direction of like, wow, like maybe their parents are MAGA, maybe like they just, think that the US is the best place ever to exist. But
no, I would say that it's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's that they're liberal and they hate the United States and think that the United States is the worst place ever.
Yeah.
Yet they never compare it to the rest of the world. That's why you see, LDHD TV for Palestine and all this other crap. People don't realize how good that they have it here. And then, once again, we have this thing in the United States where people look up at utopia in comparison to that because we're so great that they don't look to the side and say, well, we're better than the Middle East, Southeast Asia, or pretty much all of Africa, right? Where else would any of you people want to live other than the United States as any type of minority or anything else? Snowboard, you were saying?
Yeah. Parents from all demographics are dunderheads. A ton of this is a parenting problem. Too. So, you know what I mean? So it's not just, and it's shallow of her to say like, oh, it's MAGA people. Like, there's MAGA people who are letting their kid live off of an iPad too. Like there's, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter too much about what side it is.
Yeah.
But I think some of the liberals are actually much more closed-minded, but present it. Like I said, in Vermont, they have a ton of these people. Vermont is like its own planet, dude, where it's like, it's literally just white people, white liberals for like hundreds of miles, like not maybe hundreds of miles, but like a huge radius. There's literally no black people or any minorities, but they like always talk about it and stuff. It's really strange.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre.
No, follow me here, because that's not what it was. I don't remember exactly the context of why this was brought up, because he was a high school English teacher. But like they mentioned something, let's just say World War II. And this student had like a panic attack of like, what do you mean this other country? And he was like, oh, like, you know, England, Germany, whatever. And she was like, what do you mean? And so he ends up explaining, you know, like countries in Europe, countries in whatever. And again, this student has an all-out panic attack in class because according to this student, no one had ever told me that there were other countries. And I remember at the time when my ex was telling me this story that I was like,
God, how much Tylenol did this 6 months?
I know, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
What
This
a
is
joke.
when I'm saying, like, when I do bring up that term Tylenol brain, this is part of that because it's also the parents maybe being on Tylenol brain. What's like, come on, you have to make sure your kid knows is like other countries and stuff. We're not asking really for a lot, but this is equally a parenting issue.
Person says the 2 last days of my health class was on the female reproductive system and the stage of childbirth. As today, as we talked about menstruation, a male asked me if he was going to menstruate. There you go. Do you see? Look, this person can't even use the term boy. She used male. So that's where it started, you dumb.
Yeah, because she's a
I
baby
tell you,
girl.
I totally believe this woman. I totally believe this story. I'll tell you one of mine. This was in college. Bringing it back to the DEI of the white liberal women. So I'm driving, and I had this white girl. I was piping at the time. So we're going, and she had the nerve to say this to me. It is physically impossible to go faster than a mile a minute.
What?
Yeah, she literally.
This was like gravity.
She literally said to me that it is a law of physics, right? And I tried to explain to her, as we are going 75 miles an hour right this moment.
Guys, what?
Oh my God.
And it's funny because
I
it's
can totally
true.
believe it.
That's what I said. That's why it's funny because it's true.
She was a sophomore in college at the time.
Wow.
Oh my God. This is actually, so when we thought they can't read and stuff, it was bad. This is like another dimension of it.
Yeah, another dimension.
It's applying to
of
physics. No wonder they're like, hey guys, you live in like a Matrix video game. These people are like, okay, yeah, probably. Like
another dumb mention, right? Come on, man.
Yeah.
You need to hold a parent-teacher conference like right now. And he kind of dismissed it like, oh, you know, it was just like something funny, kind of, you know. And I'm like, no, do you realize the depth of knowledge that this student is lacking? Because while I am not a teacher and he was, he has a much better grasp of the different levels of education throughout the like educational years than I do. You still, by the time that you are in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, you have still learned about World War II. You've learned about the history of your state. You have learned about, you know, major, like at least the highlights of, you know, American history, of world history. Like, even if you just take American history, you still have to go for like Columbus discovering America. You still have, you know, 1492, Plymouth Rock, the Pilgrims, everything else coming from a different country to here. And the fact that this student had missed somehow all of these levels of knowledge to understand that there was more just in the globe. And even from a scientific perspective, that this student did not know that there were more than one country on planet Earth, apparently. And mind you, this was back in like 2018, 2019.
It's gotten worse.
Like,
yeah, oh my God.
A decent amount of time far back that there
cooked.
This has, so ask yourself this. Do you not view this as an educational psyop via dumbing you kids down?
It is. It is.
It is. This is it, guys. This is what it is.
Here's the thing, though.
Or an aspect.
Snowboard. Here's the thing, though. It's up to the parents
Yeah.
to defeat the psyop. It doesn't matter how bad
You're right. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Yeah.
Because this is what I would say about like Ethiopians, Nigerians. A lot of them are in the same black communities that are in the hood, but they are overweight. They eat the good foods, and their kids graduate and go on to college. Why? Because they supplement their children's education.
Yeah.
You know? Here we go, guys.
Why can't we teach critical thinking? Like, why? Like, if we have all these brain biases and we have these tendencies towards superstition, all these things, why can't we just teach critical thinking? It's a harder problem than you realize. Now, individual parents can teach their kids anything. There's not a restraint here. But societally, in order to get something like critical thinking to be part of a high school class or something like that, or the history of the religion to be a part of a high school class,
You got to take the women out, right, guys?
you actually need power and resources to be able to get those materials into schools.
AKA
And how do
men.
you get power and influence and money and resources?
Have
You
men
get that
teach.
through dogma. You get that through a movement, which by definition is going to be some form of cult. And
What?
you can't really build a
Oh my
cult
God. And
without
what was
ideas
funny?
becoming
On
the
her
anti-cult.
back wall is a bunch
Yeah.
of occult stuff there.
Yeah.
I was
Guys,
actually
they-
trying to zoom in and look at that.
Yeah, guys, here's the thing. In the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, teachers had less and taught critical thinking. So this chick's an idiot.
There's no way in hell that if you know that your child has a behavior problem and you miss the entire week of school and then bring them on Friday for the teachers to deal with his actions, there's no way in hell parents really actually do this to us. I come on here to vent and tell you guys, please do not become a preschool teacher. This is your sign not to become a preschool teacher. On this day, on Friday, I have 2 kids that missed the entire week of school. And those 2 kids are my behavioral kids. One of them being the girl that just called me a bitch. The other one is a different
In preschool. How you gonna be dropping B words in preschool?
Child that we do struggle with his behaviors, but the more that he's at school, the more that my co-teacher and I can obviously control his behaviors and all that bullshit. Whatever. I pulled up to school. I backed up. I turned around. I saw both parents park together. I saw both parents get off the car together. And I saw both of their children. No way in hell what I'm seeing right now. You missed the entire week of school and you're bringing them on Friday, on fun fucking Friday, 7:30 a.m. First tantrum. He destroyed the entire classroom.
Oh my God.
8 a.m. The other little girl started calling us different names because we didn't let her go outside. We physically had to lock the door from the outside because she wanted to run out.
Oh my God.
We gave her options. We gave her alternatives for her to do and sit down.
Giving her an ass.
Dude, you know it's bad when Bianca is the teacher who's used to chaos. Seriously, like this stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do something else. She didn't want to take it. Called us the entire cuss word book. Her tantrum was with the little boy again, because we were all painting a cup because we're all planting some seeds. He said no, he didn't want to do it. So then we gave him another option. And then when we all started to clean up, he had a tantrum because he wanted to do it, but it was time for us to go outside. So he ended up flipping over the kitchen area. He ended up flipping all the chairs. He destroyed.
Anonymous, your camera's on still, so I'll let you up there.
All the other kids' work. He dropped all the plants on the floor, soil everywhere, seeds
He's
everywhere.
a demon.
Yeah.
He's a
That lasted
demon.
an hour.
Yeah.
4 teachers were in there. 4 of them struggled with him and it just didn't work at all. Yes, we called my director. She just looked, tried to calm him down. She did calm him down. The minute she walked away, he started again. He was kicking the ball at the kids, at the teachers. He was throwing things. He was throwing the toys at the kids, at the teachers. So we ended up switching the kids over. He destroyed the entire playground. Lasted about 30 minutes. It was just a really bad day for him. And it's been a very hard day for us. Like, we had support 4 teachers in there in one classroom. That's not enough.
It's chaos.
All because of some Tylenol.
Yep. Yeah.
And when did teachers start giving options? I mean, You do the assignment, or you do the assignment.
Yeah.
AJ, I put a really good 45-second video in the private chat that I think really will be perfect timing.
There's certain jobs women should not do. There's a few jobs women shouldn't do. President, senator, congressman, cop, doctor, lawyer, fire department, banking, financial tech, math, higher education, any education above third grade.
Above third grade.
A manager of a hotel, CEO or CFO, COO, CIO of a company, investing, VC, venture capital, driving Ubers, Lyfts, cabs, aquariums or zoos or hotels, entertainment,
Hilarious.
But he was saying, do you see how he said teachers above third grade?
Yeah.
That was actually pretty insightful. And they can't even get that done well. Apparently, they can't read or anything.
Look at this, guys.
I can't.
Look at this thing right here. Can you imagine this thing?
Gosh. She's a teacher.
She's
your teacher. She's going to be around your kid 8 hours a day.
8 hours.
And there's
It's feminist Miss Frizzle from the Manchester.
Yeah.
Look at this.
And she's cooked on Adderall and high. She's also cooked.
Yes.
Kids aren't coming to school. They're not being read to at home. Their parents don't show up for them. Their parents are trying to make ends meet. Working all day, all night. And then the kids that are at school have to go home and they have to watch their little siblings because they have 5 siblings at home that they have to take care of. And that they're responsible of because their parents aren't there. So they have to cook the meals, they have to change the diapers, they have to do all the things. Also, kids are put in abusive situations. Yeah, they're taken out for a couple months, a few months, 6 months, whatever. And then they're put right back because reunification is a thing here. Because our government doesn't care. Another thing, funding. There's not enough funding in the education system.
No, guys, that's where she's wrong. Because, guys, we used to teach a lot better education with a lot less funds. And there's foreigners who come here from places where they teach schools in huts where their kids are better educated than a lot of these knuckleheads that we have here.
Okay, teachers aren't getting paid enough. They're leaving. And they're leaving because we're having to deal with all of these things, all of these behaviors, because these kids are going home to these horrible situations and then coming to school and taking it out on the people at the school and taking it out on the world, which makes sense because they're in horrible situations and they're treated horribly at home. So why would they treat anyone else with, they don't know what love looks like. So why would they love anyone? Why would they show love to anyone whenever they are being at home, taken out of that situation, and then put right back into trap houses and being around drugs and all the other things? So let's talk about why kids can't read. Kids from other countries are moving here because their families want better opportunities for them, but our government doesn't do a good job of acclimating them here and in the schools. And we have ELL teachers that don't speak the native language of these students. So obviously, what?
They couldn't be there then, right?
There are kids that go home and their parents don't care. They're on screens all day.
That's how twisted everything is.
Yeah, guys. When this
drop, doing what she should, she is a way higher standard than 80% of all the other student teachers.
Yeah.
She looks like a maniac.
When these dunderheads make sense, we're cooked.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm
that's
saying.
why I am so adamant on my kids reading and just opening a book at school. That's why we have independent reading time so much. Even if they can't read, let's partner read. Let's do that. Let's learn. There's a lot. I'm sorry. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at I'm passionate. Let's say that. I'm very passionate about this because a lot of people are like, oh, it's the teacher's fault. It's the teacher's fault. No, It's not. It's actually the fact that parents keep jumping from school to school because whenever so this is the thing. This is what happens. Parents go to work, do whatever, or they're lazy and they're sitting on their couches. They don't want to get their kids to school. Even if it's on the bus, they don't want to wake up their kids. And so then kids are like, I'm not going to school today. So then they stay at home. And then there's an investigation that goes out because they've missed a certain number of days of school. Okay. So then the parents like, oh, I'm scared. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to do these things. So then they move states. And then that happens there. And then another investigation starts happening. Does it start? Does it? And then they move again. And then they move in with aunties. And then they move in with
Wait a minute,
grandmas.
I'm
And then they
actually
move in
thinking
with
Adderall is really good to
uncles and
subscribe to
cousins and
women.
whatever.
It seems like there's a lot of single mothers making bad
And it's-
decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
an
you know what?
epidemic.
This is good. She's actually just saying something nice. Like she's she's a very minor amount of women who's kind of has autism about a certain thing, but she actually means well. She's actually trying to describe a problem. That's what I'm saying. At least this person, this is all I'm trying to say. This
she's honest
person looks
about
like a dunderhead, but she at least wants a little bit of responsibility. I don't feel
Yeah.
this is fully blaming stuff. I think it's trying to make actually a pretty good point.
Well, how much you want to bet she does? How much you want to bet she does anal?
Oh, 100%. I'm thinking about saving her. I was trying to save her. Yeah. She's anal retentive, that's for sure.
Because
That's with a hard A.
And the hard part, retentive. It stays in there.
Hey, Seagrip, come on now. Don't be. No, don't be trying to hide nothing. You know, you've turned that pooper into a glazed donut. Come on.
Oh yeah. Look,
guys, hold on. Hit the like button. But guys,
look, the tip of my dick was just saying, yeah, she does. It's never wrong.
Yeah. And you know what it was? What went into her donut, like you were saying? A black Krella.
Do you think the sprinkles of Tylenol?
Oh no! Look at that.
Epidemic. Teachers don't get paid enough for this. We don't. And that's why teachers leave. That's why teachers leave. That's why good teachers leave. And they're sick of it. And some stay. But it's like, it comes to a point. And that is why I try to focus on what I can control within my class. Because then I get really upset. And then when I get upset, I'm like, I don't want to teach anymore. So I try to focus on my kids that I have right now. How can I love them the best? How can I teach them and help them succeed in life? How can I set them up for success?
Okay, now, guys, victim and hero. You guys see how she goes back and forth, just like a
Yeah.
guys. We'll do these last two, and then we'll have to sign off here. But guys, check this out. Guys, I honestly mean it. Like these modern chicks cannot read. Watch.
We have lost reading comprehension because why am I at 25 years old? I'm trying to finish my reading goal for the year. I was going to read The Great Gatsby from start to finish, less than 200 pages. I'm like, period. We read this in like 8th grade. We're fine. Let's see. Page 1. Most of the confidences were unsought. Frequently, I had feigned sleep, preoccupation, or a hostile levity when I realized by some unmistakable sign that an intimate revelation was quivering on the horizon. For the intimate revelations of young men, or at least in the terms of which they express them, are usually plagiaristic and marred by obvious suppressions. Reserving judgments is a matter of infinite hope. I'm a little afraid of missing something if I forget that, as my father snobbishly suggested, and I snobbishly repeat. A sense of the fundamental decencies is parceled out unequally at birth. A. I should be able to read that in my head and go to the next sentence. I've read that sentence aloud about 3 times. I now fully understand it, but like, what does parcel mean? And I am even saying that right. And why can I not read this at my big age? So
she's almost
we have
30.
You stupid woman. Guys, look at this. Guys, put a 1 if you agree. This is the average modern woman right here. Right here. Right here. This
Well,
is
it's
the
worse
basic-
because
thi-
they act educated, but this
Yeah.
is really where they're at.
Yeah, this is a type of this is a chick who says that she won't date a guy that has a 9 to 5, that has a trade. Oh no. She won't just date an average working guy. Oh no. Guys, someone says
she can't.
Look at this. Someone
She's
says
making a video showing you she basically can't read. On top
says-
of it.
Someone says the more you read, the easier it gets. Keep going. You're telling that to a 20-something year old.
If she ain't got it now, she's never gonna get it. Like,
yeah,
that's it.
You know, I bet you all of you guys right now $1,000. If you ask her what comes at the end of a sentence, she'll be like, parole.
Guys, look. She says this first says you could pay me to post this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at
man.
this.
Some of these things also kind of could be psyops too, but I do think the education
No.
level is bad. I
No,
think this
this-
is authentic. I'm just
No,
saying,
yeah. This
out
chick-
there can be stuff like that.
This chick is this dumb.
Yeah, no, definitely. I 100% believe that for sure.
Well, it's because guys actually have to be like interesting and actually have to know things in life to like get by. These dunderheads don't have to really know anything.
Yeah.
They just,
Anonymous,
like,
say you're in my job. If we did something like that, we would be seriously hurt,
Yeah.
basically. Or
Yeah.
or
Guys, they're
like
like,
someone
oh.
else. You just can't let stuff ride like that. Women
Oh.
don't
No.
even operate that way.
Oh, The Great Gatsby's hard read. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
What are you talking about? All these chicks are all agreeing.
Try reading Nietzsche or something
Look,
like that.
this person says a lot of the romance books being picked up lately, like Court of Thorns and Roses, have low reading levels because they're teenage books. These chicks, I read a lot.
That's
You
why
read
they
Twilight,
love Harry
you
Potter.
dunderhead. Yeah.
They love Harry Potter.
Well, here's
This
the
is a
thing.
great thing.
Harry
Millennials
Potter's for
absolutely
kids,
love
though.
Yeah. But I'm saying they're adults and like they're like, I'm like, do you read? And they're like, yeah, I've been like rereading Harry Potter for my 3rd time. I'm like, come on now. Like, but they actually love it. It's very, very common.
Someone says it's
That's the
not
last
in
literacy
modern
we
English.
have.
People don't speak like this. You're translating older English. It was written in like the 1920s, you dumbass. What are you? Oh my gosh, guys, we're cut.
It's from those ye olde times, AJ, of the 20s.
It's not like they're reading Shakespeare.
Yeah,
What
I had
is
to read
going
Shakespeare all
on?
throughout high school.
What
Try
is
reading
going
that shit.
on? All these idiots are dumb as a box of rocks.
I wonder how well she would do reading instructional manuals, like putting things together and technical stuff.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Come on, dude.
Only thing this had put together was a joint.
Yeah.
And the reason why you read that is why you read ye oldie classics is to get better at English, at reading, at comprehension. You talking about here? Oops, sorry.
I'm making this video because I need some sort of accountability. Because I realized something last night that I've been trying to read this book. This was recommended to me when I was in my master's program a year ago. And it was recommended.
She has a master's.
Hold on, guys. She was in a master's
God.
program a year ago, and she can't read. Look at that.
Jesus, man.
My last
Well, it's the
semester,
fact
so
they
that
can
was a
read the
year and-
words, but they can't absorb the information.
Yeah.
Well, it's even way worse than that, but we'll just let that ride.
Yeah.
Maybe even 2 years ago. I'm not even certain. But it It was recommended to me. I never read it until after I started going through a crisis with my own art of like barely knowing what I was doing, not knowing what I wanted. And so Art and Fear is supposedly really, really good. And I read it, but I read it extremely slowly. And it took me literally 7 months to read a 120-page book.
My God. Good thing it's not
It's like
warm.
giving birth.
You big woman. Look at that, guys. Look at
I hope that's not her art on the wall and it's like for a kid.
Wow.
She said she's an
It's so
artist.
little
A mood board or
so
something.
motivated. And
We don't even know what that is. It's like Egyptian art, but for like autistics, like up on the wall there.
You just hung a bunch of receipts on the wall.
Hey, that's what they say
It's
art
like
is.
It's like hieroglyphics for tism.
Yeah.
my Instagram, and I was not reading it enough. And so I finished it, and then I was like, great, what did I just read? And I could not answer that question. I had no freaking clue what I had just read. And
she can vote. She can vote, guys.
She did. Oh, she voted and protested. This is
Yes.
a protester. Right here is a protester. 100% a protester.
What a
What if she read
mess.
Kamala Harris's book?
What a mess.
And so I finished the book, and then I immediately turned to page 1 and started over again. And now I'm halfway through. I vaguely remember what I've read, and I put down the book. I did like half the book in like literally a week span, and then reading just for like an hour. I'm a slow reader. I always have been since I was like in elementary school. But I think my reading comprehension issues have come back to haunt me, because I sat down this book for 2 weeks and I don't remember what I was reading 2 weeks ago. I don't fully remember it. I think like some parts need to be like jog my memory and everything. And last night I was trying to read more and I physically could not comprehend what I was reading. And it was really, really fucking scaring me, because reading literacy rates are like the illiteracy rate in our country right now in the US, I live in the US,
Yep.
is so astronomically low. And it is
Guys, this is
really,
Tylenol
really scary
brain.
that
Yeah.
I am becoming part of that statistic, even after getting a bachelor's degree and having a master's degree and
Right.
being like one of the top
She
students.
still has to sneak it in. Yeah. She still has to sneak that in there. Like just to big herself up. It's amazing.
What an absolute joke.
School and like having good reading comprehension when I was younger, and now it's just kind of gone out the window. I fully feel my brain is becoming mush. So my new goal is I'm going to read this book every single year. I'm going to read it maybe for a third time this year. I don't know. It's freaking October. I don't know if, surprisingly, I don't know if I can get through it a third time, but it's really good. I still recommend it. And the thing is I want to be able to talk about it here.
You don't know what's
on
in it.
TikTok.
How can
I
you
want
say
to be
it's
able
good?
to talk about it on my Instagram page and like give you book recommendations. I'm not reading fast enough. So I'm going to tell you guys that I'm going to read
This
this
has been
book,
like 20 minutes, it feels like, too.
Yeah.
and we're going to talk about it because I need someone to summarize things too. And I'm going to be taking notes. Look, where's the page I was doing
Ask
last
a
night?
man to read it.
Look at the notes I was taking last night. I feel very confident and very happy about them. I'm writing in the margins, and I'm going to do that every single time I read this. And one day when 5 years from now or 3 years from now, every single page is going to have a full like ring around it of just my writing. And that's my goal. I want to read this book every single year, and I want to read a lot of other books, and I want to
Dude,
read.
please, we need to make this
I
stop.
read like maybe some manga. I read
Yeah.
manga primarily, and then
Oh my
that's gonna
God.
be my
Some
two
comic
genres.
book.
Critical-
Guys,
You're reading
no.
comic books.
No.
She is trying to read it.
Hey,
quality,
Jake,
though.
Hold on.
She's not reading Berserk.
Yeah,
and stuff
this is
like
the-
that. Come on.
yeah. She's reading these foo-foo weirdo ones. Whereas you can read comic books and stuff, and there's a lot of text and story and actually stuff to understand. If it's either reading comic books or not reading at all, you know what I'm saying? You're better off doing
better
that.
than not
That's
reading.
like these chicks who read those romance smut novels. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh, like
It's
the
basically
Harlequin novels,
corn.
yeah.
corn for
diddle
chicks.
himself.
You know, all it is smut. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. And hey, it's words, you know?
Art theory, history, and manga. Those are my genres. I will not be giving manga recommendations. No, my manga is for me alone. It's not part of my job. This is part of my job. But I am not going to become a statistic, because if you think reading comprehension isn't important, you're going to fall prey to propaganda and you're going to become part of a bigger issue. I am not going to fall prey to propaganda. That is how you fall prey to propaganda.
This is good.
I'm trying to talk fast. Because you don't have the reading comprehension or the critical thinking skills to actually comprehend what they're trying to tell you and read between the lines and read the subtext behind like the information that they're feeding you. You need critical thinking skills. You need to be literate. You need to be reading, and you need to be reading. You can read fiction, you can read things, but you need to be taking notes and thinking critically, and you need to have a reading comprehension rate. You have to have a slightly above average or average reading comprehension rate. We cannot be a country, we cannot be a like society of a below average reading comprehension rate, because then the average is just going to get lower. And then eventually reading is just, we're going to end up in 1984, and reading is just going to be so.
You dunderheaded broads basically got us there already.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Visit Europe sometimes. You want to visit 1984.
Yes, and it's all these woke liberal white women's fault. What an absolute joke. They're fine with authoritarianism as long as it's on the left.
Yeah.
This chick's probably one who wants to break down patriarchy and capitalism and have some socialist, authoritarianism. Come on.
So abandoned that we're not going to be able to comprehend our own situation and to even comprehend it enough to get beyond it and out of it, because we're all just stuck in a cyclical.
Because everyone would actually be.
And I've never even heard of that book.
As this chick is. Snowboard. You're a man, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And like, my image of you would actually be totally shattered if you've actually heard of this book. Guys, let's get the
I'm just saying, I've never heard of it.
Guys, we're at 154 likes. Guys, let's get a couple more likes before we shut this down, okay?
Loop of what we're being told and believing it, and then things getting worse. So I'm not going to become a statistic. I am not going to.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Lose my reading skills. I'm not going to lose my reading comprehension skills.
You're already
I'm
gone.
going back to the basics. I'm going to start every page, and I'm going to summarize what I read, and I'm going to do all the little tasks and all the little.
Yeah, exactly. Who thinks that this woman would be number one behind hate speech?
Yeah,
for a start.
sure.
And like she probably thinks 1984 is like an instruction manual.
Yeah,
It will be, you know what it'll be? It'll be her lesbian wife that gets shot during ice raid.
Yeah, yeah.
It's true.
It is true, though.
In
It's definitely
second
true.
grade, when I was in remedial reading and had to go to extra tutoring because my reading level was low because I have ADHD, and that doesn't help me, and I couldn't focus in class, so my reading level was really low. Does this mean anything about my intelligence? Absolutely not. My ADHD does not impact my intelligence whatsoever. I'm an incredibly intelligent person, but I have a low reading.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
And a low reading level right now, and I want to do something to fucking fix it, because I don't want this to be my life. I want to have some sort of semblance of control and some sort of critical thinking. So I'm not going to let them win. I'm not going to let them win.
Who is them, and why would they give a shit about you? Guys, they're narcissism here. No one cares. So,
Man,
you guys.
This
Well,
dumb
Pluto
broad,
said this: "Them is they, and they is them."
man, this dumb broad, dude. If you give her an instruction manual to boil water, she'd be like,
She'd be like, "Hey, Colin, how long does it take to make minute rice?"
Yeah.
But all right, you guys, I'm gonna shut this down, guys. We will be live Kamaru, you know. And guys, someone had asked me about the whole Anton Daniels, Corey Holcomb thing. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. It just doesn't make any sense. You know, why there's two relatively well-known black men on social media that just have to go at each other like women. It doesn't make any sense. Why? It's stupid. You know? There's room enough for everyone to coexist and have their differing views and make money. So, but all right, you guys, I'll be live tomorrow at 5. Yeah, guys. Oh yeah, guys. Sunday, we're gonna do a live stream about alcoholism. So, anyone who wants to call in, let me know. Bye, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye.